everyone.
Hi! Are we doing this again?
We're back. Are we? I guess we could. I'm gonna do this way.
Looks like you're waving at
Anyways,
yourself. You're like,
yeah,
"Hi,
well,
me,"
Um.
like that one time.
Anyways, we're back tonight, folks, with episode 13 of Mass Effect Aftermath. 13.
Huzzah!
Is 13
Unlucky
lucky?
number.
Is it unlucky or is it lucky? I can never.
Unlucky. That's why they don't have 13 floors in hotels.
But then some people. Anyways, it's it's one of those
But
weird
you
things.
know.
I don't
Like when
understand
you're on
luck.
the 14th floor, like you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it's like you're not fooling anyone, man.
No, here's the thing though. A lot of hotels actually use that as the utility floor.
Oh,
But
so
it
the,
makes sense.
so the workers can die.
Yeah, so the workers can get trapped in the. Anyways, I think tonight's going to be interesting. It sounds like.
Fuck.
Last time, our heroes, if you can call them that, returned to Port Falstone, and we're speaking with Waylon Gree and his wife Skaya, your two sort of contacts who've been paying and hiring your skills for a few jobs, and Waylon had a second one for you to go and speak with an associate and acquaintance of his, Volrus Troll, the head mechanite at the Chapel of the Omnis
That fucking weirdo.
in the Highlands district, kind of the low-income part of town. Some of the houses are built up along the sides of the mountains and are exposed to the ice storms. Troll is a Turian, but you met him in like a reliquary, a sanctum that seemed to resemble both a holy site, but also reminiscent of a server bank with large pillars made of, comprised of servers, with the air chilled to keep things from overheating, and there was this cloud of like mist around your feet as you walked through this dark chamber, and you spoke with Troll, who extricated himself from the wall and his throne, so to speak. He has been heavily modified by cybernetics. Most of his face has been replaced, his mandibles and eyes most predominantly. Both of his legs have been elongated and had been replaced with sort of cybernetic limbs, as well as his left arm, and who knows what else, because most of him was shrouded in like a dark blue cloak that had been tattered and torn at and had kind of strands of fiber optic lights sort of dangling from these frayed ends. He told you that he knows of an old Solarian Special Tasks Group base on one of the moons of Omaran, Miris. It's a small oblong asteroid-like structure. It's the smallest of the four major moons. And he has, after many years, he has an interest in discovering what's inside, as the members of his religion are keenly interested in old technology.
Data!
So he passed on to you a pass key that would gain you entrance to it, and told you that Wayland Gree could likely assist you in transport. He said that you could take whatever you found there as your payment, but he wanted every scrap of information
Data!
on the servers. And so you left his sort of unsettling presence. Definitely someone of use to you, but hard to say if he's friendly or not, just with his demeanor. And you decided to finish out the last bounty that you had taken. to go and escort a shipment to and from the town of Lausanne by the Elcor shopkeeper Delzino. You spent a good chunk of the day outfitting the Mako with some new modifications. You also attached a gun turret to the top of this borrowed vehicle, this truck that Delzino has provided to carry his goods, mostly just simple necessities, groceries, toiletries, things like that. Nothing exceptionally interesting. And you set out, but shortly after you were beset by an ice storm, which forced you to pull over to the side of the road. And even when that subsided, you encountered yet another obstacle. The heavy snows made it difficult to see what was on the ground in front of you, and McGowan, you drove the Mako over a mine or some other kind of explosive, which stopped your small caravan dead in its tracks. And where we left off, Torque, you being the most visible and having the clearest line of sight, had seen a few figures stepping out from behind the rocks and the trees in the armor bearing badges of the Red Corsairs, a red talon kind of emblazoned on parts of their armor. And that is where we're going to pick things up tonight. So as you guys are standing there, Rhea and McGowan, you two are in the Mako. You've just been rocked and disturbed, and you're both secured, but it was, the whole front of the vehicle lifted up off the ground about 10 feet and came crashing back down. And the Mako is still intact. The shields took all of the explosion, fortunately, but it was a pretty significant hit. And you see a few shapes stepping out, and whoever wants to take a look around can go ahead and make a perception check to kick things off.
I'll do it.
I would make a perception check.
Everybody can make a perception check for this, since this is kind of a big...
Pretty new mermaid dice.
There's a lot going on here. Ooh, nice.
Ooh, hey, that's cool.
So I'd say the nature of this event has drawn all of your attention, so you can all make the check.
14.
Nice.
19.
Okay.
22.
Ooh, Rhea.
I only got a 12.
12 for Torque. Okay.
Torque's the kind of guy that likes to get punched first before he punches back.
Yeah.
You would see a couple of what look to be sort of grunts, sort of the equivalent of grunts, kind of stepping out from the trees. There's these now ice-covered pine trees and these some of these rocks that have these glacial rocks and boulders that have just kind of stacked up, and at some point this canyon, this small canyon, it's probably only about 15 or 20 feet up, formed and kind of created this nice gap here that the road runs through. The road is currently completely covered in snow, so you actually can't see it, but there's these sort of physical barriers have been kind of guiding you. And you would see two, I would say everybody but Torque. Torque, you see the two guys in the back, and they're the closest to you, so you're sort of fixated on those two. If you can see them, let me get out my laser pointer.
Oh, for Pit, I gotta get the map up. Sorry.
Oh yes. Sorry, folks, we're running a little bit late getting set up here. Some of us were withheld at work a little bit longer than normal, so we're bear with us just a moment.
We're good.
Curse you, real life.
Curse you,
Right.
life. Curse you.
Life. Okay.
Life is pretty cool. It's the real point.
That's true. That's a good point. Okay, so seeing here, let me zoom in a little bit since we're out a little bit further than we need to be. Torque, you definitely see these two guys in the back. This guy here and this guy here. both kind of emerging from behind cover. They're the two that immediately draw your attention. And then I would say Rhea definitely, and McGowan as well. I think McGowan, you probably don't see this Krogan here just because he would be kind of in your blind spot.
Yeah.
But you definitely see the soldier here, and the Krogan up here. And Rhea, you with that check, you see everything. You see all 5, and you actually.
You see their past
You would actually also see creeping through the trees. Well, I don't know. Would you see this? I'd say you'll see this one. This
I'm a
is fine.
sniper.
You're a sniper, but you're also sitting in like the closed canopy of the Mako,
Oh, true.
which restricts your vision a little bit. So I would say with that vision, because you rolled really high, to offset that, we'll say you do spot what looked to be kind of swiveling the turret around, kind of peering through the gaps to your sides. Creeping through the underbrush, you see 2 Varen kind of at the back of the column as well. But you're the only one who can see those. And as you guys are taking a peek, the Krogan here hefts a big shotgun, puts it up on his shoulder, and he says, "If you want to live, get out of the trucks. Throw your weapons down. We've got more explosives than just that one. So if you're smart, you'll surrender and we'll let you walk away with your lives."
Torque, here's
That and says, "How do you know I'm smart?"
Are you admitting to being stupid?
Which one are you talking? I can't see.
Over here. And he's kind of like waves a hand, kind of getting a little bit frustrated with the questions. He's trying to take control here, and you're interrupting his mojo. Now, anyways, this is your last chance. Get out, or we'll open fire.
So,
Well,
Alpha-
my, ask a lady to dinner first as I like peek out of the cockpit.
So Alpha will go through and using the loudspeaker, go through and say,
We are currently deciding our current action. Can you please chill a moment?
and then go through and cast Cryoblast on the closest one.
All right. So with that, we'll say the closest one. So you have to lean out the window. The closest one we'll say would be this soldier.
Yeah, I'd say the north ones for Alpha. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so go ahead and do that, and then we'll roll initiative.
All right, Cryoblast is 165 feet, so that's definitely within range.
Yes, it is.
5-foot sphere, so it'll be just the one. All right, so I need to roll a spell attack. So that's a 25 to hit.
Oh God, yeah, that definitely hits. Let me pull up my my bookmarks here. Oh, and I actually need one other. Sorry, I have a note because I have to make up kind of things. I had to reskin some enemies, so I have a cheat sheet so that I remember which ones are which. So give me just a second.
I can't believe the robot dog shot before me.
I was thinking about it, but I was like, I feel like Torque's gonna handle this a little bit first.
I don't always have to shoot first. You guys can do it too.
All right.
I
Load up.
apologize. I felt that was what my hero Torque would do.
Okay, so you were shooting at a Red Corsair crewman. So that means okay, yeah, you definitely hit.
All right, so they are currently they have a minus 20 feet to their movement, and
Wow.
they need to make a strength check, or they are frozen until the end of the next turn.
They're frozen, eh? All right, so let me go ahead and just
Strength check against DC 15.
That's a 17 plus their modifier,
Okay.
so then they'll pass. But I will mark them as being frozen.
Slowed.
Slowed.
Well,
they're
yeah,
slowed.
They're slowed. If they
Okay.
make the check, then they're just slowed. If they don't make the check,
Okay.
they're frozen.
So let's see here. We'll say
Let it go.
Oh, give me shit.
Shut your
Here
trap.
I
Shut your
stand.
trap. We don't
Alright.
want to hear anymore. Shut
do
your
this
trap. Shut your trap. Don't
Shut
make
your-
me open this door.
I used to just sing the
Here
version all the
I
time. Would you
am.
help me hide a body?
all right.
Come on, it won't be hard.
Okay, everybody go ahead and roll initiative and plug it into the Discord there. And then I
Nice.
will get up the notes here, and then we'll get started.
Man, dude, God, shit.
There's no way you rolled worse than I did.
Oh, God.
I'm just sick of rolling like not good initiative.
Did you roll better than 6?
Especially you have a good dex too, which is kind of surprising.
I mean, it's like it's okay. I rolled really poorly. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like the dice was not good.
I rolled a 6 total. Did you roll a 6 too?
No, I
Rolled a 6
on-
total.
I rolled a 6 on the die.
Then shut up.
I'm just like I'm always. All 3 of my characters are like aggressive fighters who go last in combat, like all the time.
You always get the cleric rolls.
Yeah, right. I'm a tank, and I'm always just like standing there, like waiting, like, oh,
That is
someone can hit me
true.
now.
I literally, in my head, when I think of combat, because I only play D&D with you,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so when I think of combat, I think of Dan is later.
You're not wrong, dude.
Like, there's not one particular game. Just across the board, we're just assuming Dan is later.
Yeah. Whatever I do
Like
now,
last,
Dan will mop that up. Yeah.
Second to last, like
He's a team player. He sees what everybody else does and then just fills in the gaps.
yeah.
They call him old Danny Gap Filler.
Except when people decide to take
I
prisoners that we don't
don't-
need. I was
It'll
thinking
fit right in the trunk of my car.
Wow.
We don't have to go very far.
Do you want to hide
It's
a
already in
body?
pieces. I did my best.
I kind of feel like that now we need to set up like a musical session. We just do the entire thing as a musical.
Sorry,
Oh,
folks.
that's not happening.
It's a
Today's
Buffy
been a,
episode
Totally get some
of-
Dr. Horrible going on in here.
today's been a busy day.
You have not.
Only if I can be Captain Hammer.
Deal.
No, me.
You're Penny.
To be fair, he's already got a hammer. Although his
we
hammer
already
isn't the same
made
as-
this joke.
I mean,
Later tonight, are you going to show her your hammer? And then is she going to be disappointed because it's the hammer?
I've never paid for it once in my life.
Well, there's always a first time for everything.
This is what happened when the GM needs to take time to calculate stuff and the players get free time to talk.
Like, if there's not a first time, I'd cut off my hand. You know, it doesn't need to be a first time for that.
But there might be.
I was literally going to ask, when are you planning on getting the mechanical hand then?
Well, I mean, like realistically, when I'm like 45, I'll probably have so much arthritis that like we'll just have to take out all of my bones. Just give me a robot skeleton.
Don't touch my bones.
I mean, I'm gonna need
Oh,
bones, dude. Like, I
Back
do
up
too
off
much
my
shit.
bones.
All right. Okay, let me get the initiative in here, and then we're good to go. All right. So let's see.
So when they take out your bones and replace them with the robot parts, like, do you get to keep the bones? Like, are you gonna make like a wind chime out of like your old leg parts and hand parts?
What I'm because they won't have to replace my skull, right? Because that'll be in good shape, ideally. You know, probably.
You don't
So what I
want a
might do
robo
is I might like make a mannequin out of my skeleton and put like a weird head on top of it.
What's the thing is like if your parts
Have it
correct,
be
you get
like a
replaced
fun
by
coat
robot
hanger?
parts. and everybody gets to keep the bones afterwards. Just like like the dentist pulls out a tooth, you get to keep the tooth. Tooth
I
is
never got
bone.
to keep any of the teeth that they pulled out. None of them.
The dentist didn't give them to you.
No, I've had 11 teeth pulled. I don't have any of them.
So now you might want to go back to the dentist and ask them what they're doing with it.
Okay, I've got
Maybe it's
the.
best I don't know.
If it's like Doctor,
Ray, what-
yeah.
Hey, Ray, what's your initiative? What's your dexterity score?
Tis a 15
Okay.
plus 2.
67.
And then between Alpha and Torque, who has the higher dexterity score? You guys rolled the same for tiebreaker.
I've got 14.
Motherfucking 15. Suck
Guys,
it!
So Torque goes
Go right ahead.
first between the two of you. Okay, great.
So before we start combat, I did write down that we added the modified pulse cannon to the cargo vehicle, but
Nice.
apparently I didn't mark down the stats. Do you happen to still have
sure.
those?
Yes, I'll give you those in just 1 second. Let me finish writing down the initiative because I'm a very slow typer.
Actually, did you toss into one of these?
Yeah, I should be. Well, no, it's not going to be in the Google Drive, I don't think.
No, you tossed it in the 2D
Oh,
templates.
yeah.
Okay,
maybe
you tossed it in Discord. I got it.
Oh, sure. Yep, and okay. All right. Sorry, I'm just having a brain fart right now, I guess.
Well, stop.
Okay, there's the initiative order. Rhea, you are up first.
Rah. Okay, so I am in the little covered but shootable area, right?
Yep, you've got the main gun right now, and
Oh yeah.
you've got the main gun. And don't forget the custom stat blocks for this vehicle in the Google Drive.
Yeah, I got it pulled up here. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, I want to use it. That sounds fun.
That's what it's for.
I want to use the Mac though. Am I on the Mac?
Well, it's a coaxial weapon, so you can switch between the two.
Okay.
The Mac gun will take 1 turn to charge and 1 turn to fire, so it'll cost you 2 turns.
All right, I'm gonna load it up and get it all, and then aim it at the bro that was yelling at us.
All right, great. So you squeezed on the trigger and you start to kind of feel the magnetic charge kind of vibrating the canopy a little bit. It's not like rattling, but you can kind of feel the energy kind of just in the space around you.
And this definitely isn't the first time Rhea's shot a gun like this, but this is the first time in a while.
Yeah, and especially when this jank.
Yeah.
All right, so you've got the big gun pointed just straight in his face. Next up are the crewmen. So I'm going to make a note of the crewman who is slowed. His movement speed is reduced by how much?
Well, the stat says -4, so that was based off of meters. So that would be
So, yeah, -4
between
meters.
10 to 15, however you want to run it.
All right, let's see. I can pull up his stat block here. So let's see. That would be what? So it would be, yeah. So it's like 6. He'd have 6 meters of movement left. Okay. He is actually gonna kind of. He'll pop back a spot. Try and take a little bit of cover. This rock here is kind of a low boulder. It's only about knee high. So he's going to kind of crouch down behind that, and he's going to try and take a shot at you, Torque. Kind of pulls out what looks like a little SMG, and he takes a couple shots at you. That's going to be a 19.
That'll hit.
It might.
Okay, and then we'll say, so that's one guy that hits. The second guy that's back here is going to do the same thing actually as well. So he's also going to shoot. That is a that's a dirty 20, so that also hits. All right, and so both those guys hit.
Dirty.
Torque, you are going to take.
Dirty.
So dirty. I'm gonna prestidigitation that 20.
You're going to take 17 points of piercing damage from both weapons.
Fine.
That was a good one. I heard that.
Thanks, Dad.
Oh no! No.
What happened?
I'm out.
Well, I made a bad joke, and then my $5 chair from the Goodwill also broke.
Oh, sweet. So,
Fate is like, no, you are not doing this. No.
so Torque, it's 15 or 17 points for you.
Got it.
Exposed. Okay.
He just takes it like this. Ah!
The third crewman is going to run up, kind of crouch down here, and he's going to try and take out some of the shields on the Mako. So that's going to be a 14, which I don't believe hits the Mako.
You can't even shoot the big ass car. Is this a
You're
fucking
right.
stormtrooper?
I mean, have you run through heavy snow? There was like the snowstorm was so bad we couldn't even see these guys coming up.
Which
That's true.
reminds me, I believe that would mean. Oh no, we're not doing heavily obscured. It's just perception checks that are disadvantaged right now, so it's fine. Your shooting is as normal. I need to pull out the custom vehicles though.
No.
What did they get to hit?
They got a 14.
Yeah, it doesn't hit.
Didn't think so. Okay, so it just kind of peppers off the shields, but they barely do anything. Not even enough to cause any damage. All right, next up in the order, once I move this out of the way, are the warriors. The two Krogan. So,
Oh god.
the
What kind of croakies are they?
They're big Krogan. They're wearing armor and helmets, so you can't see what they look like. Their armor is mostly like metallic colored, like kind of dull metal, but there's a little bit of red and a little bit of like yellow and black painted on as well. They've got some customizations. None of the armor looks the same. Everybody's looking a little bit different. And the Krogan who spoke actually looks to have done kind of something with his helmet where he's mounted two like tusks on the front of it to kind of like intimidate people.
When I kill him, I'm gonna steal that helmet so quick.
And
Hey, Torque, is it me, or does that Krogan have bigger tusks than you?
Yeah, that looks kind of cool. I wish I would have thought of that.
It matches our Mako.
Possession is 9/10 the law. Go get him.
all right, so the Krogan on the sort of the bottom flank here is going to move up, and Rhea, you're going to have cover. You're going to have a +5 to your armor class inside the canopy,
Okay.
but he's going to try, and I think he's got the range. Yes, he has just the range to take his shotgun and fire it at you, and he is going to let's see. He's going to try and take a shot at you from up above, kind of trying to use his vantage point, and then we'll see how that goes. That's going to be a 24.
Yep, that's gonna hit me.
So it's a slug. So when he shoots it, it goes right through the gap, and you feel the shot impact into your shields and your armor, and you are going to take just 7 points of piercing damage. And then he is going to
Just
jump.
quick question: does that come out of barrier first and then shields, or shields and then
It would be so.
barrier if you equip it?
Your barrier is not. It would be barrier first when your barrier is active, but your barrier
Yes.
is not active presently.
Yes.
But it would be barrier first, and then shields, and then hit points. That's the stack for those.
Yep. So
Torque,
I
that's
still
relevant
have some
for you
shields.
too. Yep.
Oh, yeah, I
Okay,
know
great.
that.
Okay, just making sure.
Just
So
make
he's going to
sure.
jump down. So that's going to be an athletics check from this fellow, which he does not succeed.
Yes, finally
That's
a
an
shit
8.
roll for him.
So he jumps down, and he's actually, because it's like a 20-foot drop, he will take. He's going to take 6 points of bludgeoning damage just from falling. But he'll kind of grunt up and get to his feet, and that's actually. Well, then he is going to use his bonus action, because that biffed his whole movement. He's going to use aggressive for his bonus action. He can move up to its speed towards a hostile creature that it can see. So he's going to try and charge up to you, Rhea, kind of just getting up to the bottom of, kind of like right up to the base of the Mako. And that's the end of his turn, because it would be an action for him to clamber up the side of it and stuff. So that's the end of his turn. The second guy is... he's not going to shoot. He's going to try and do that athletics check, though. So he's going to do 2, 4, jump down. That is also not great. That's a 13. So what I'm going to say is that's going to be 1d6 of damage. Because he'll land on his feet, but it's not a pretty landing, and he kind of twists his ankle and takes 6 points of damage as well. So he kind of grunts, regains his balance, and then is going to use his aggressive bonus action to charge the Mako. And again, what he wants to do is a bit. So I'll say that
He wasn't like scared at all that I had the gun pointed at him.
Not really. They're Krogan. They're used to it, especially these are pirates. These are pirates too, they're practiced hands at this probably.
Just not to
But
jump
they deal
down
with that,
the
So
just giving gas on a Wednesday.
That's the end of, well, no, he didn't use his action. So he's going to use his action to try and climb up the side of the Mako, and he's not going to be able to do it this turn, but his intention is going to be to open the side hatch. He rolled very poorly on that athletics check, though. It's only a 12, so I'll say that's just enough for him to be able to climb up, and he's kind of standing on one of the wheels, and he's getting ready to try and open the door. That's the end of his turn. That's the end of his turn. McGowan, you're up.
Question for you.
Yes, sir.
How high is
Yes.
the bottom of the Mako in relation to the top of a Krogan's head?
Well, I'd say the bottom of the Mako is probably like 4 feet off the ground.
So, yeah.
Like, it's not, the Krogan is taller than the
Yeah.
bottom of the Mako.
And our Mako has the little like jet propulsion.
Yes, it does. I've actually written it. The stock Mako doesn't have the rules for that for some reason,
Yeah.
so I put some in for our custom one.
Okay. So
For how that works.
where's my, that's why.
Wait, our Mako can jump?
It uses, because the stock Mako doesn't have the stats for the thrusters that the Mako has in the video games, so I wrote some rules for it for us.
So
You son of a bitch.
They may require some modification, but I tried to kind of keep them balanced.
what is my ability to control the direction of those thrusters? Are they just straight up, or can I turn the Mako?
I think it has both. Let me let me pull up the sheet again real quick. I had it and now I lost it.
Because what I would love to do right now is use the thrusters to just turn the Mako 90 degrees.
Oh, it won't. It's not going to do. It won't do that. So the thrusters are the intention of the Mako's thrusters are to slow descents from low orbit drops.
Okay.
So they're not like for super agility stuff. They're for like lessening impacts and maybe giving yourself a little bit of a height boost if you're trying to clear an obstacle or something. Which you could all that's something you could possibly.
And then on the right side and just.
Well,
Yeah,
there's.
so
Like you could try something like if you get creative, you could try something like that. But yeah, so you have there's the descent control thrusters, and the main ability for that is it has the slow descent, but you can use it to do other things as well.
okay. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stomp on the gas, or whatever the Mako's equivalent of gas is.
Yep.
And then just hard left turn. No, right turn, sorry.
Okay.
Like the closest thing to a handbrake turn I can get.
Okay.
Just fire off the 3 and leave the one corner so it just kind of pops it.
So go ahead and make a vehicle handling check.
Jumpy, jumpy.
I have to learn how to
Mako,
fight.
leave your man at home.
That is a natural 20.
Nice. So, and since that's a skill check, you get a card, sir. I'll send that to you in a second. Remind me before if we get to your turn and I haven't done it yet. So yeah, were you trying to use the thrusters or were you just trying to whip it around?
I'm just trying to whip the thing around to get these two Krogan off.
Okay, so I'm gonna say the one that's clambered up on top of it. I'm gonna say he's got to make an athletics check to hold on. The other guy's got to make a dexterity saving throw to try and get out of the way. The first guy, he makes. What'd you roll for your vehicle handling check? A natural 20?
Yeah, which puts it at vehicle handling. Where is that? A 26.
Okay, I'm gonna say he rolled a 10 plus a 3, so that's gonna be enough to dislodge him.
Okay.
And then the other guy for his dexterity saving throw to try and avoid it is gonna fail. That's a 7.
Nice.
So we'll say that the Mako from the impact. Go ahead and roll, because you're not going super fast, so there's not a ton of momentum here. Go ahead and roll 4d6 damage.
Woo!
Mako drift.
For the Mako slamming into the other Krogan as it turns.
Makio drift.
So this guy goes, he gets thrown off.
That's
Good luck,
16 points
Flip.
of damage.
16 points of damage.
Yeah.
Okay, let me double check something. Okay, is it 16? Okay, so let me do a little bit of math here. We've already established that none of us are good at math.
Yeah, don't even try.
That's
That's one of my favorite clips, like on
It's so
the
good. It's so good.
on.
All right, so yeah,
I put it in my Discord too, where I was like, everybody watch this. It gives me so much serotonin. Like the second all of our faces realize it, it's just too good.
Good for you. You can laugh at yourself like that. I'm hella embarrassed.
I'm glad none of us work in like the financial field. Oh,
We'd
Yeah, I
get
was like,
fired.
if that's the biggest
Shit.
mistake I make today, it is a great fucking day.
So you're trying to turn the Mako 90 degrees, you said, McGowan?
Squash
Yeah, I mean,
him.
So, yeah, I'll say
with the whip.
boom! It hits him and throws him back there.
Nice.
The other guy gets thrown off, and he doesn't take any damage, but he is
How tall
thrown
are
off to
they?
the side. Krogan, they're like 7.5 feet. They're pretty big.
How tall do we jump?
You didn't jump. He just did like a
Oh.
pulled a shitty like 90 degree, just like whipped it
Okay.
around. So the first guy the second guy down here, he gets hit by the side of the Mako as it spins around. He gets poof, just thrown back like 10, 15 feet. And the other guy, he gets thrown off the side, but he kind of just falls to the ground. He doesn't take any damage, but so they're both prone. They're both knocked down. Let me mark them as prone.
Which, being prone, they're easier to run over.
I mean, yeah, I would say they would probably have, if they're trying to run them over, there would be a dexterity saving throw, and they would have disadvantage because they're on their backs.
Do I still have movement?
Let's see. The movement.
When you're driving.
What did I put for the movement on the Mako here? I said 20 meters. So we'll say that would have been. We'll say that was a quarter of your movement. So you've got 15 meters left.
I'm just gonna throw it in reverse and back up over this guy.
Nice. All right, that's a dexterity saving throw for him, which will be at disadvantage. 9. So the 9 was the lower roll, which is going to put him at a 10. So that's a failure. So you back up over him. Go ahead and roll for that one. Go ahead and roll me. Ooh, we'll say this one. This is a pretty nasty one. Go ahead and roll 4d10.
Whoa!
This is a several ton vehicle
Moonbeam
that is running him over.
Don't roll one.
This is like getting run over by a semi truck.
The
fact that it's only
vehicle.
doing 4d10 is mostly to do with the fact that he's a Krogan, and so he's going to be like, it's sort of a way to kind of give him a little bit of a break.
He might just sink into the snow.
That's 24 points of damage.
24 points of damage. Wow, nice.
It gives me that vibe from Incredibles where that guy gets stepped on and he's like, I'm okay. And then the rest of it happens. And he's like, yeah, I'm still okay. But he's like, definitely not. Like.
So yeah, that guy has been run over. I need to just do a thing quick.
Blah.
And he's kind of now like in the gap between your wheels.
Throw on the parking brake and just gun it.
So we'll say with that, McGowan, well, let's see, that would have been, so you were been like here, so that's another 2, 4, 6, 8 meters. So you still got like another like 7 meters of movement.
Really?
Yeah.
Gonna go the other way, but I'm gonna try to angle it more at the other guy too.
Okay, so we'll say that's 7. We'll see you have 8 meters of movement left just for the round number's sake.
What
8,
a fucking idiot. Why did he
6,
come down there?
8, 6, 4. We'll put you there.
Now, is that movement
4,
including the
2, and that's as far as you can move. So you're not gonna, so like it would take you most of your movement to get spun back around and everything. To kind
now,
of
is that
reposition
including the movement we got from the engine booster that we bought?
Well, I don't know. Is it? I need to double check something.
No.
I'm not gonna check. I'm not gonna take back any of the rolls we've already done.
No.
I just need to. I just need to check something. Okay, so that would have been to turn. It would have been 2, 4, 6, 8, 10-ish, like 8 meters to turn. And you would have been like there. Then it would have been another 8 meters, 10 meters, 12 meters, 14, 16. Yeah, so you could, I would say like you could turn, and that would kind of put like you could basically get like there, and then that all of your movement's gone at that point because you've been doing a lot of spinning and reversing.
Well, then what I'm going to do is I'm not going to turn. I'm just going to move forward and run him over again.
Okay,
so basically run them over again?
Yep.
Precisely.
Go ahead. And I'm going to make another deck save at disadvantage. I got an 18 and then a 3, so that's another failure. Go ahead and roll another 4d10.
Damn, this dude hates today. Why
Talk about a horrible way to die.
Why
did not call in sick,
his
bro.
plan almost worked.
Giant tractor wheels just going back and
you know,
forth
McGowan
over your
too.
Frozen body.
McGowan,
I'm
if you
still
don't,
okay.
if you don't have an inspiration, McGowan, take one for this because this is great.
Definitely.
That was 26 points of damage.
Okay, he's not dead, but he's really freaking
wishing he was.
He's a Krogan. They're tough, man. They got like 2 hearts and 4 lungs, and but he's He's close.
Does he have
He's
a
close.
redundant
Fucking 10
spinal cord?
HP. Like,
He's close. I would definitely say he's near death. And he's currently still trapped underneath one of your wheels, so, he's
Leave
kind of
his ass
pinned.
there.
Ray just swings out a window and just throws a rock at his head and he dies.
So,
Yeah.
so up next would be,
she like
Another
ashes
group
her
of-
cigar on his face and it burns him to death.
is going to be some other enemies. So let's see. You guys see, I'd say Rhea especially. McGowan, you're a little too preoccupied. Rhea, with that really good perception check you rolled, I would say you see two more enemies emerge from behind boulders up here. They are Vorcha, which are another humanoid species, but they have sort of smooth, kind of waxy skin, and they're known for being
Cannon fodder.
the cannon fodder for groups like this, but they're also known as kind of being scavengers, kind of living off the dregs of other civilizations. They don't really have a good, like, they're not reptilians, or they're the closest thing that people have discovered. The closest like Earth analog to a Vorcha is a worm. And Vorcha share some of that worm-like ability to repair and regrow injuries. So Vorcha are often used as cannon fodder. They're usually lightly armed, but there can be a lot of them, and they are known for being pretty good fighters. They're not the most intelligent species. They have a pretty basic language, and they only became spacefaring basically by like stowing away onto explorers' spaceships. But these two are holding rocket launchers, and they're both going to fire at the Mako.
I moved.
So let's see. So normally you have to make a dexterity saving throw for their weapon, but since the Mako, since they're shooting at a vehicle, I am just going to use their dexterity modifier, and we're going to go for the armor class. Right. Let me double check. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything for the vehicles.
But I can still make a dexterity saving from like use the rocket, like the booster things. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. That is very true. I just want to see because like I don't know. They don't really have rules for people fighting vehicles. They have rules for vehicles fighting vehicles. So yeah, you know what? I like that idea, McGowan. Why don't you go ahead and roll 2 dexterity saving throws? And yeah, just 2 straight throws because it's the thrusters that are giving you the ability to dodge.
Yeah.
So just 2 straight dex saves, and you can use your dexterity modifier, or use your vehicle handling, even I would say.
Well, one of them was another natural 20,
Yeah.
Oof, okay.
and the other one is a 8. But I have inspiration.
Okay. Yes. Well, other thing I have. Let me send you your card because your card may your
And,
card
yeah, you
because
have
your
2
card
cards
could be
now.
relevant here as well. So let me send you that.
2 cards.
No, you only get 1 card at a time, unfortunately for you guys, because
But I got 2 20s.
well, it's
And if I spend
you can
my
only you can
cards,
still
then
only you still get a card, but you can only have 1 card at a time.
technically
because otherwise
the
people
4 was
stop-
the 4.
Because other people people will stockpile their cards if you let them have more than 1.
And
the
then
idea-
just use like 20 of them during
You're
the
right,
boss
and the-
battle.
Yes, and the idea is that you can only have 1 at a time, so that it's an incentive to use it. because you if you still have a card, you don't get anything for your next nat 20.
I'm gonna use my next level up feat to get two GM card slots.
Right,
That's
there you go.
not a
There you
feature.
go. There you go, McGowan. Your card might be useful for this. I don't know. It's up to you to decide.
No, I rolled really shit. So
Okay.
I'm gonna use my inspiration die.
Okay.
And I guess it's not an inspiration die. You just get to reroll. Yeah, that's a 19.
Okay. So yeah, you save both of them. So you see the two. You kind of spin around, run over this Krogan, and over the radio, Rhea, you call out to McGowan, and McGowan, you're able to. You see the two missiles coming in. These missiles from these launchers, the ML-77s, they move kind of slow, and so that gives you just enough time to activate the kind of undercarriage thrusters of the Mako, and both of the missiles fly past, and they kind of crisscross, and they just miss the truck behind. And I'll give that to you because you got the nat 20.
Oh, awesome! I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because fortunately they're both firing at you at an angle where they would both likely miss the truck.
So I have another question.
Yes.
Does me landing on this Krogan do more damage?
Yes, I was hoping you would ask
It
that.
would. Yeah, that's thinking good.
Yeah!
Oh, yeah.
Where is the thruster located? I do wonder.
That's actually a very good point.
I know where.
Because I think
Where
one of them would pretty much be like right where he is.
Yeah.
So he's gonna make a Constitution saving throw. You got this Mako. This one guy.
What an idiot!
This Mako needs. If you guys ever lose this Mako, it's got to go out like the Batmobile in Dark Knight Rises.
Oh yeah.
Like it's already done so much cool stuff. So he makes a Constitution saving throw, and that is going to be an 18. So I'm going to say he's able. The flames don't phase him. His armor protects him from the fire, and his Krogan hardiness, despite the fact that he's taken a bunch of damage, he's still tough as nails. So he's not going to take. Well,
I was really hoping that the horns would like kind of run somebody through at some point.
We'll say this will do half damage. So with those thrusters, go ahead and just roll like 2d6, since they're not like giant flames. You know, they kind of exist to give you a little bit boost in momentum.
That's 11 points of damage.
Well, that's still going to be enough. 11 points of damage halved. Yeah, you'd have it. You round up when you have, so it's halved to 6, which is the exact number of hit points he had left. So as you get the thrusters, he's like he starts to roll over to crawl. He's like, "Oh, this sucks so," and he gets incinerated. Kind of his whole back gets lit aflame.
My plan didn't work.
Yeah, so he's super dead. He's a smoking corpse that, to add insult to injury, when the Mako comes back down, smushes him. He's like leaking. You see like Torque, you can see like Krogan blood like oozing out of cracks in his armor, and it's pretty gruesome.
Hell of a way to go out.
Gross.
His buddy on the ground goes, "Gordon, no!" And he holds out a hand, and he's kind of, he's kind of in a bad spot as well. So next up is going to be the Varen, and then it's going to be Torque and Alpha. So the Varen, 2, 4 are going to both try and jump down.
Poor Torque.
2, 4. I'm going to say because of what Varen are, they're going to have advantage on these athletics checks to jump down. First one, first one got a. Oh yeah, that's a 17. Second one gets a 18. Gets an 18. So they both managed to jump down. So they moved like what? It was 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Um, 6, 8, 12, 14, 16. They're both going to use their actions to make a second athletics check to jump up, to try and jump up onto the top of the truck where you are, Torque.
Man.
The first one does not succeed. He jumps up, but his claws just scrape along. He's not able to find purchase. The second one does succeed. So he jumps up, and he's now kind of standing right there next to you on top of the truck with you, Torque. That's the end of their turn. So speaking of, it's your turn now, Torque, finally.
I believe that my state on the top of this truck is manning that gun, right?
Yep, but you're not like bound to anything. You're just standing on top of it. So you can let go of the gun and it doesn't cost you anything. If you wanted to.
But then, like, equipping my hammer, would that take
Nope.
an action?
Nope, I would say no, because it's not like you're swapping anything. You basically are just letting go of something and then pulling out your hammer. So I would say that's fine. That's not going to cost you anything. Yeah, it's a bit more of a process in like swapping out your weapons, you know.
Okay. I'm just gonna, I guess, take a swing with the hammer.
Okay, go for it. So you kind of release the gun as you see the two Varen trying to climb up on the side, and kind of in the same fluid motion, you pull out your hammer and go to swing. Whatever else you want to do.
First, though, I'm going to use a bonus action and a spell slot to cast Biotic Slash.
Okay. So your hammer becomes charged with biotic energy kind of emanating from you. It sort of flows out over your arms and up into the head of the hammer.
And then swing of the hammer. Oh, stupid die. Holy shit, I haven't swung my hammer in so long. I add my strength modifier, don't I?
Strength and proficiency.
So that's a 17 total.
17, that will definitely hit.
Nice. Alright, rolling for damage.
Go for it. The hammer impacts as this thing leaps up on top of the truck. You hammer strikes it across the chest, kind of its exposed underbelly.
What the fuck? So he has to succeed on a strength saving throw.
That is a 17.
So he has to beat 15, which he does.
Okay, he still takes damage though, right? Because that's just to knock him, see if he gets knocked prone.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so he'll still take his damage. And don't
Okay, sorry.
No worries.
So he takes 10 bludgeoning damage. Finally, some good rolls. Fuck.
Okay.
And then I think it's a D10 for my biotic slash. It's just another 2.
The 2 points of damage. Okay. Still a good hit. You feel some of the ribs break with the impact, and it doesn't knock him off the top, but it does kind of knock him onto his side a little bit, kind of pushing him away from you. And we end the turn with him kind of getting back onto his feet and snarling at you, his big Varen fangs sticking out and slavering down, like saliva dripping from his big jaws.
I said the wrong die. Can I re-roll it for the biotic slash?
Yeah, what did you re-roll? What did you roll?
I said it was a D10. It's actually 2D8.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Sorry, I suck today. That's another
That's
10
okay.
damage. So 20 damage
Another
total.
10. Okay, so 20 damage total. Great. So that would have been okay.
He still does the snarl and everything.
Yeah, same thing. He's still up, but it's a heavier impact. It did more damage for sure. These creatures, these two Varen look a little bit bigger than the ones that you encountered at the LMD base. They've got a little bit more. The spines are a little bit longer. They look a little bit rougher. They definitely have the look of like an alpha, like a big, vicious male of the breed. Okay.
Oh, they look like alpha?
Yeah. No. Well, they do also look like alpha, but not quite so metallic.
Bit squishier.
Yeah. Just a bit though, because Varen are like Krogan. They're native to Chichanka and they're pretty damn resilient. Okay. Speaking of alpha, it's Alpha and Omega's turn.
Get it, doggies.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you, Ryan.
You're so quiet. I think
Max.
you're muted.
No,
Oh,
he's not.
well,
muted.
apparently I pushed both mute buttons instead of one. Okay, so
Oh,
the
man.
Krogan straight up, the one that I hit with the cryoblast before is primed cold.
That's not a Krogan. That was one of the soldiers.
Okay, well the soldier straight up is primed cold because of the cryoblast from last round.
Okay.
So Omega is the one that has the free cantrip, but Alpha still can cast it as a spell. So I'm going to cast Incinerate, but I have it prepared as Advance. So I'm going to cast Advanced Incinerate for 2 points to the soldier straight up.
Okay. So what is the advanced version of the?
So basically, the advanced version is that if they are primed cold and I hit them with the Advanced Incinerate, it automatically crits.
Oh, okay.
Oh, shit.
Plus, Advanced does an additional 2d10 damage. All right, so we're looking at dirty 20.
Nice.
It'll hit. Yeah.
All right. So that is 40-10 damage plus an automatic crit.
So that's automatically 40 points of damage. Plus, don't even bother rolling because they've only got 39 hit points.
Roll it.
Yeah, but roll it just to see. Roll it.
If you
just
double
to see.
it, it's
All
dead
right.
forever.
Forever.
If you double it, you kill its soul.
See, it's nice being a caster and actually having more than just like 3 spells before a rest. And that wasn't that great. So that was 6-12. So that is 52 damage overall.
Yeah, well, it's still more than enough. So
Oh, it's not great.
Omega fires off his cryoblast, and then
Ooh.
kind of leaning over you, kind of like you let him kind of hop into your lap.
No. This is Alpha. Omega can only fire the level 1 version.
Oh, sure.
So Alpha cast it as a spell. So I had to use points.
Sure. So Alpha, you're in your bipedal form at this particular time. So you extend a hand out through the driver's side window and fire off the cryoblast, and it hits the guy, and you see the ice like envelop his whole body. And he's like, no, and he's trying to like brush it away, and he eventually just totally freezes and then shatters.
No. Like I hit him with the cryoblast last time, so he was slowed and starting to get icicles. I hit him with an incinerate to detonate. So this is the fireball. So this huge billowing of just massive steam flows up, and then you just see this charred little corpse left.
No, but it detonates cold, so it's like fire and ice at the same time, right?
True.
It would still shatter. He would still shatter. But you're right.
You are right. You're right.
Lead up to that. So it's an incinerate. This big molten plasma blast shoots out, hits him, and it kind of hits him and lingers for just a second, and then it just and he just shatters. He explodes and shatters at the same time, and it leaves the trees and the rocks and the ground around him. The snow is mostly melted, and it's been dyed pink.
So that's Alpha. So I spent 2 tech points on that.
Okay.
And then Omega gets his regular cantrip, which is still set at an incinerate. So he will fire at the closest, or he will fire at the not the Varn, but he'll fire at the
Krogan?
No, he'll fire at the Varan. Yeah, he'll fire at the Varan that's closest to Torque that's still on the ground. Because he can basically stick his doggy head out the window and just spit a fireball at him that way.
Yep, exactly.
The most hilarious way to die.
And that is, that's 16 even without mods.
16, that will hit for sure.
All right, so that's just a standard 2d10. 10, 19.
19 points of damage. Nice. That's a good one.
Wow.
Not a kill, but still a bunch of damage. Now let me do my math here. You said 19?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, both of those Varen are looking pretty injured. They're looking pretty injured, I would say.
So now I'm assuming that driving the cargo truck doesn't count as movement for me, or would that still count as movement?
Well, yeah, it's your movement. You can either move yourself or drive the truck, because the truck doesn't have its own actions and stuff. It's dependent upon how you use yours.
Well, I mean, in that particular case,
we have entered combat. I would feel much safer if we were closer to McGowan.
So I will just drive the truck straight forward, so I'm closer to the Mako.
Okay.
That's the only reason why.
Totally the only reason why.
Not trying to run anyone over.
He's going to make a dexterity save at disadvantage. Yeah, you rolled an 8 plus 1. So go ahead, and this vehicle's not quite as heavy.
No.
So we'll say for this one, go ahead and roll just 2d10 for the damage on this one.
I want to be so supportive of you, but you're in a cold house with food, and I'm upset with you right now.
And 10, 18. Man, I'm rolling good tonight.
18 points of damage. Okay, let's see. That'll put him. So yeah, it's a hit. He doesn't roll under the truck. He kind of gets pushed along by it. And so he'd get moved up here. Vehicles there, so he kind of gets pushed along by it. But it's almost worse because he doesn't get run over in some ways, because it's just this hard, sudden impact. And that definitely, you can there's you can tell that you definitely did some damage with that.
So now that since we made a sudden start forward, does the Varan on top of the truck need to make a dexterity save to stay on it, or is he set?
No, this is all kind of happening sort of at the same time.
Okay.
So this is kind of like while he's been trying to climb up onto it, and it would have been part of the athletics check that he took earlier.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, at this point in time, Alpha and Omega are done.
Okay, back to the top of the round. Rhea, you're up. So you've now got the gun.
Charging this gun the whole time.
The gun's charged. Yeah. So go ahead and pick a target.
I actually want to hit this bro over here behind the boulder, not one of the wormy dudes, but the other guy.
This guy here?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it. I want to say that'll give him, he's not getting any cover from that right now from your position, so you just pivot the cannon and fire.
Motherfucker!
Do I add my strength to that, or is it something different being the
dexterity?
Okay.
Dexterity modifier.
Alrighty.
And since this would...
I got a nat 20 plus 2.
Oh, nice. So you get a card as well. So that definitely hits. So
and it's a crit.
And it's a crit. So max damage plus max damage without the modifier, then roll with the modifier.
Okay. So 1d6. Nope, 1d10. Yeah.
And I'm sending you your card in Discord.
So the first one is 3 times 10 is 30.
30
plus.
Yep, so it's just 30 plus another roll. So you don't add them. Only add the modifier once.
Oh, the modifier is just nothing.
Yeet.
Oh well, it would be the modifier would be your dexterity modifier.
Oh, so just a plus 2.
Since you're firing a gun.
So 32.
Okay.
And then the next one I rolled was a 10. So
42 points of damage.
yeah.
Well, that's a kill. Because these guys, again, 39 hit points. So the Mac cannon, you aim it, fire, and for a weapon like for a Mac gun, this is pretty close range, and it hits this guy, and it doesn't just kill him, because with the way a Mac weapon works is it uses magnets to fire a projectile, so it's moving at absurd speeds. And this is for people who are viewing who aren't familiar with railguns.
Oh, viewers.
Weird theoretical technology and whatever. So it fires a projectile, and it goes through him, but it doesn't just go through him. It impales him, and it rips his torso off of his legs and embeds in the rock behind you, turning the top half of it into dust. Because this is the thing that is like going... It's being shot at like just under the speed of sound. so
Yeah.
It's devastating. And he's kind of standing there getting ready to fire his SMG again, and then all of a sudden and McGowan, you in the cockpit, both of you, Ray as well, you both feel the Mako like shift back like 3 or 4 feet from the force of the gun going off, and it just... There's a guy standing there, and then there isn't a guy standing there.
Just some legs.
and there's just some legs slumping onto the ground, and a rock that has been turned into powder. And he is dead.
Sick.
Rhea doesn't F around.
Didn't like that rock anyway.
Anything else for you, Ray? Bonus action or anything like that?
There's really not too much I can do besides maybe, can I spend anything to re-up my shields?
Your shields, as long as you don't take damage for a round, you get your shields back.
Oh, okay.
So
no, you get a certain amount of your
the regen value.
Yeah.
You get 5 points of your shield back.
Okay.
If you don't take any damage. So it would be on it's on your next turn. So yeah, you get your shields back. So you get 5 points of your shields back.
Then yeah, I'm just gonna go into my Omni tool and be like, all right, got one of them.
Or well, we'll say I think it's per round, so it would technically be on the Krogan's turn. But they're gonna be up in a couple seconds anyway, so it doesn't make a huge difference. Okay. It is the surviving crewman's turn. I'm gonna roll like a morale check for him. Ooh, that's not good. That's a 3.
To be fair, if the roles were reversed and we were attacking this convoy and 2 of us were taken out in the first round, like we would be running too.
3 of you taken out, 3 of them taken out in the first round, all of which were done pretty emphatically. One guy got crushed by a giant tank rover, the other guy got exploded in fire and ice, and the other guy just got disintegrated. So
I still love that one of them just got like stomped by the Mako, just like an angry horse. Just
so this guy,
he was run over twice and then stomped.
Yes.
Well, set on fire and then
this guy over here, he's gonna take like a pot shot at you, Torque, as he runs away, and he'll use his double tap for this. Because he's just like he's running and gunning, so he's going to use his action to fire, and then he's going to use his bonus action to fire again. The first shot against Torque is a 21, and the second is an 8. So the second one misses, but the first one is going to do 7 points of piercing damage, and then he is going to scurry off behind the rock and disappear out of sight.
Damn it!
Okay, that's the end of the crewman's turn. It is the surviving warrior's turn. So he's going to get up onto his feet, kind of push himself up, and he's just like, fuck this, and he's going to try and shoot through the glass at you, Alpha. So you'll get a +2 to your armor class, but only for this one time if he after he shoots, because hit or miss, the glass is fucked. And he actually has he is shotgun specialist, so he has advantage on attacks with shotguns at enemies that are within normal range.
I'm pretty sure we can't get much closer.
Right, well, exactly. So yeah, that first one is going to be a 17.
Well, with the bonus, I'm at an 18 AC.
So the glass shatters, but it takes the impact, and the second shot,
and 16 normally,
is going to be a 17.
Okay, so that one does hit me.
So the second one hits, and it's going to do 7 points of piercing damage. And then he's going. What is he gonna? And then he's going to. He's got movement. What is he gonna do?
Get up.
Well, he stood up, so he's got a little bit of movement left. He's gonna try and. Let's see, he doesn't really have a whole lot of good stuff to do. I mean, he's kind of in survival mode. So what he's going to try and do is I'm going to say, because he's got enough movement left to do this, I'm going to say he's going to expend the rest of his movement to try and make an athletics check to climb up onto the front of the truck to basically get in the truck with you guys.
Like T2 style, just
like the front, it's trying to get his whole front half in the truck with you guys. That is an 18, so he's successful. He managed to kind of climb up. He's standing on the front of it, and he's got his kind of sticking his shotgun right in your face. That's the end of his turn. Next up is McGowan.
So is he sticking half out of the truck there still?
But he's kind of on the front of it. You'd have to hit the truck to hit him.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to do that, because that is kind of not what we're trying to do here. So I want to turn and start driving towards those Vorcha.
Okay, so
yeah, just that one. I'm not gonna be able to turn enough to get to the other one.
So let me measure that quick. Sorry, so that was 4 meters. So you've got we decided you have a +6 because of your thrusters to your movement. Okay. So you've got 26 meters. So that's
22 left.
Yeah, 22 left. So 2. So it's 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 14, 16, 18, basically. So it'd be 20 to put you right up along the cliffside there.
Okay, and then I'll have to turn a little bit to get the right angle here. So just turn one.
Okay.
And then keep going one.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
And that's my turn.
Okie dokie. It is the Boom Squad turn, the rocket launchers. So they're both firing at the Mako again.
I was like, did y'all name our group while I was gone the Boom Squad? I was like, I missed this.
Do I roll a dex save again?
Yeah, it'd be two dexterity saves. Yep. DC 14.
DC 14. Well, would you look at that? I rolled 2 17s on the dice.
Nice. So again, you use the thrusters to jump up, the two rockets exploding underneath the Mako, but you manage to clear enough of the explosion where you don't take any damage.
Nice.
Okay. So that's their turn. They're getting a little frustrated. They're actually both going to pop back behind cover to try and get out of the line of sight a little bit now that the Mako's kind of up in their business. And that is the end of their turn. It is the Varen's turn. So the Varen, that's kind of still on the back. He's going to try and chase after 5, 10, 2, 4, 6. I'm trying to do the meters thing. And that's going to be a 14. So that's going to be enough for him to climb up on the back as well.
God damn it.
And they're both going to jump at you, Torque. Both making a bite attack. The first one is going to miss with an 8. So you kind of get the hilt of your hammer up and shove it in its face and push it back. The second one, that's going to be a 21, so that will hit. And I need you to make a DC strength saving throw or be knocked prone. And you're going to take 7 more points of piercing damage.
Well, I got 21 total on my strength saving throw.
Okay, so you're not knocked prone, but you do take the bite damage from the second attack. And that's the end of the Varen's turn.
How much damage?
It was 7.
Bro, I've been hit in the only people that have taken damage on our side have taken damage in multiples of 7.
It's weird. Okay. Torque, you're up, sir. And then it's Alpha and Omega.
Okay. I am going to verify my strategy in my head before I say anything else. I'm gonna use a bonus action to use a barrier tick.
Okay.
Or use my barrier.
Yep.
And then I'm going to use shockwave on the 2 Varen.
Keep the shockwave will hit the truck.
If I angle it straight out.
But it still hits the ground, which is the truck. And when it hits the ground, it doesn't do anything because it's the ground. But you're on a truck that can take damage right now. I'm just making you aware so that. Because the shockwave isn't like a force push. It comes up from the ground in big impacts. So there's a chance that it would damage the truck. It's not guaranteed, but there's a chance.
It doesn't really do that much damage anyway, so I'm going to use it anyway.
Okay. Go for it. They need to make saving throws, right?
Yes, it's they must see a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. What do I need to beat? It's your spelled save DC.
13.
Okay, so the first one is a 16. The second one is also a 16. So they both succeed. And then for the truck, what I will say, since it doesn't make an attack roll against the truck. Just a spell attack. So it would be a d20 plus your wisdom modifier.
Well, that's pretty good. And 18 plus 3.
Okay, and then so that's gonna the armor class of the ET3 is 16, so that will do damage. So go ahead and just roll shockwave damage for the truck.
Fuck.
Yeah, this is when we wanted to roll low.
Damage roll is 8 total.
Okay, so Alpha, since you're driving, just go ahead and subtract 8. It's got 150 hull points, so it's basically like a little dent. So
God damn it!
It didn't do a lot.
I thought it was way flimsier than that.
No, it's not. It doesn't have any shields or anything, and 150 points can add up pretty quickly. But your shockwave did not do that much damage to it, which is a good thing. Okay, Alpha and Omega. Yeah. Alpha, your turn, sir.
Very quiet again. Inconvenient.
Wait, I can still move.
Yes, you can.
Oh,
You
no,
are in
but I'm engaged in melee. Never mind.
Yeah, I was going to say you are in melee, but you can still move.
Never mind.
Okay. Alpha.
Ryan, we can't hear you.
We will drive the cargo vehicle up alongside the Mako.
Okay, so I'm going to make a dex save for this boy. Well, this would be not a dex save. This is going to be an athletic. Well, he's not on the ground anymore.
Athletics, dex.
I'll say it's an athletics check, just a straight athletics to hold on. That rolled out of my tray. That's going to be, that's a 21.
Yeah.
So he managed to hang on, but you're driving up behind the Mako, you said?
Alongside, so that way basically Rhea could go through and get a shot.
Okay, so you've got, we'll say this thing has
21
that,
is also a multiple of 7.
Jeez. We'll say that this is, because it has that weird movement speed, we'll say it has the same speed as the Mako without the boosters.
Sure.
So it's got the 20. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 meters will put it about there.
That'll work. I mean, Rhea's got a shot at least 1, if not 2. So.
Okay. And
then for
I will say for this too, this will be dexterity saving throws for the Baron because you're now kind of going full speed forward.
Do I have to roll for it too?
Yeah. Yeah, why don't you roll for it too?
Why did I ask?
Yeah, why do you keep your mouth shut?
Hey, I mean that's the sporting thing to do.
I know, for the memes. I am gonna laugh my ass off if Torque falls off his truck, yeah.
All right, so
well, you have something to hold on to where they don't, so they might have a bigger penalty.
It's true.
Hey,
yeah.
Being a D&D ref would be so much fun if you if your only role was to make sure that everyone was rolling for everything.
Mook? What the hell are you doing, dude? No.
Oh, I thought you were saying Mook is the D&D ref.
Why are you yelling at us?
No, he was literally like about to put his paws on the tripod, which he's never done. And I'm like, oh, no.
What does this do?
What did you get there, Torque?
I got a...
This is not going to be good.
9?
Yeah!
So you're just not going to tell us? You're just saying no in German? Is that...
What?
9!
So since the vehicle is going forward, and if he fell, he would fall backwards. He would take the barn with him.
Well, so what I was going to say is that one of the variant got a 21, so it manages to hang on, but the other one only got a 13. And so, Torque, as you lose your balance, kind of the truck suddenly jerking, and you're not holding on to the gun turret. As you kind of lose your balance and stumble forward, you manage to grab onto the other Varen and pull it off onto the ground with you.
Yes!
Nice.
So you get one. So you and we'll say, because it's more fun, the first guy that got up on the Mako with you.
Yeah.
You guys both topple to the ground behind the truck, and we'll say you're both left like, I don't know, 4 to 6-ish meters behind. From where it was meant to go. The other Varen is still hanging on by its claws, but it's kind of like its back legs are like scrabbling and kicking and kind of hanging off the edge of it as you drive forward, but it is still hanging on.
Okay. And then for dramatic effect, Alpha and Omega are going to do their next actions at the same time. As this Krogan who basically blew out the windshield and then is now right there in the windshield with a shotgun, both of them at the same point in time are going to go through and cast an incinerate at his face that is right here.
Go for it.
It's like anime style, just charging up and then. All right, so
Power
just
of God and anime on my side. Yeah.
all right, so we'll do black is Alpha and green is Omega, and we're looking at 18 and 19.
Both will hit.
Awesome.
Right? Let me double check. But I'm sure they do. Yep, they both hit.
All right, so that will be 10 points of damage.
What an idiot.
And we're looking at 17 and 12. So that will be 29 points of damage.
Oh, man.
Nice.
When the flare
Oh, I spent a
from
point for that.
When the flare from your combined incinerates fades, the helmet, the faceplate of the helmet has melted away, and so has all the skin on his face. And he falls off the Mako, or off the ET3, this little transport truck, a smoking. Well, his face is smoking.
Just
the rest
Raiders
of him is actually,
of the Lost Ark. Like,
yeah, yep. Just like it's just a Krogan, like an empty, charred Krogan skull, just looking at you as he falls off and onto the ground, dead.
Nice.
And that is it for Alpha and Omega.
What an idiot with no face.
Ray, it's your turn.
Alpha goes through and Omni-tools to everybody else.
I currently have 3 more spells I can cast before I need a rest.
So we have these 2 left, and it's going to take me a whole other turn to charge up this gun. So I think I'm just going to grab my sniper rifle off my back.
I was going to say, there's also a machine gun for the big turret that doesn't take it. You can just shoot it. It's more.
Well then.
Yeah.
I'll grab that one then, if I can try and hit.
We did decide that the machine gun was an area of effect. So would that damage the
Well,
cargo?
it's not. It's burst fire is optional.
Okay, so you can do a single target.
So yes, you can do a single target if you want to, but you can also kind of do a spray and pray and like comb.
Okay.
Comb an area.
Well, then would it be more Well, let me see.
I would say both of the. Let me show you the map a little bit, because both of the rocket launcher guys are currently behind cover and out of sight.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's what? Okay.
Well, so she could fire at either of the Varan without hitting either the cargo or Torque.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would say, well, no, the other guy's out of your line of sight as well too. Never mind. Yeah, so you could hit.
Well, I was just saying, the risk is either I take my sniper rifle and hit it for 3d6 plus my shit, or I get 1d6 times 10 if I hit it with the machine gun.
1d6 times 10 is like
a lot.
Yeah, it can be a lot.
It's gonna be more.
Yeah, it could be a lot. It could be up to 60. So.
No, I mean I feel that. I'm just saying.
It's up to you. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, it's just to me it's a very like 60-40 draw there a little bit, because sure the possibility is there to get like 60, but it's also there to get like 10.
That's true. That's true.
But it's the same with the other. Yeah, true. I guess.
Yeah, and I would say like you would be able to like throw open the canopy and pull your gun out in one motion. You can like kick the canopy open with your foot while you pull your gun out, and you're like still kind of in a sitting position. But yeah, you could use your sniper rifle if you wanted to.
I'll probably try the machine gun like once on this dude that's on the back of the other one, as long as I won't hit the.
Okay. Well, I'd say if you miss, there's a chance you do hit the vehicle, but the vehicle has a decent amount of hit points.
Yeah, we basically just have like a dent right now. That's it.
It's the ET3. So if you pull up like the Mass Effect vehicles list.
It's okay. No, I just meant like I just wanted to make sure that there was, I don't know. I'm just figuring it out. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna shoot. Is that still Dex?
Yeah. All guns are it's like D&D. Ranged weapons are all dexterity. Melee weapons are strength, unless they're versatile.
Finesse.
I don't usually
play.
play.
Finesse.
Well, actually, that's a lie.
I get pop-ups from my Twitch all the time saying that you're playing D&D. I'm like, oh.
Okay, so I got a 13 to 15 to hit.
15 against the Alpha Varan. That will hit.
Sick. Okay, and then a D6. Where's my gorgeous little chalky babe? Yeah. Okay. So. 5. So 50.
So how many points of damage?
50. Sorry, 50.
50 points of damage? Yeah, you shred that Varan to pieces. It's full of holes. It's mostly just like a red paste by the time you're done with it, and it just like the bloody, mashed, shredded slop that's left of this Varan just tumbles off the side of the truck. onto the ground, Torque, and you kind of feel a little bit of the blood splash on the side of your face, and you look over while you're kind of square as you're like laying in the snow still, having just been thrown off of it, and you see like it's half of Aaron, but it's not the front or the back half, it's the bottom half. And it's just lying there in just like a steaming pile.
And you see Rhea, and Rhea goes, "You want some chips with that salsa?"
As I'm like,
yeah,
laying in the snow, like, oh fuck.
It's been a long time since I've been misted with blood.
I feel like it hasn't been that long.
Yeah, it's been long for Torque.
It's been like hours.
Longer than I'd like. Yeah.
It's been more than 24 hours. So. All right. So Ray, is that it for you? Anything else?
Me and my bonus actions are not high on the list. I do not have many.
Yeah, that I feel that. As a cleric main, I feel that.
Cleric main?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
My main character's a cleric.
Yeah, no, none of my bonus actions are even like worth it right now.
That's okay. Save them for later.
So. Yeah, she just says the chips line.
All right. Well, it's the crewman's turn, but he is still going to be hiding behind his rock.
Dan, I feel that's so hard.
And then it is I would say it would be the warrior's turn, but they're both also dead. And so McGowan.
Hey, Chips!
Okay.
Well, seeing as there's nobody down here to run over, I'm just going to pull forward and try to set Rhea up for a good shot.
So we'll say it's like 4 meters to turn, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26 puts you there. And I would say, Rhea, that would give you a line of sight on this guy. This guy is still a little out of sight, but this guy you can definitely see.
Oh, I'm gonna smack him.
With bullets.
But speaking of, it's their turn, so they're actually both going
of bullets.
They're both going to pop out, and they're going to try and shoot at the Mako. Both of them are going to try and shoot at the Mako again. So go ahead and roll a dexterity save. 2 dexterity saves, McGowan.
Don't start failing now.
It's a dexterity save, but use your vehicle handling modifier since it's vehicle handling related.
Like, no pressure, but...
So, I got a 19 plus 4.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool. But then I got a natural 1.
Oh, no.
Which is not less, that's less cool.
Brum, brum, brum.
For
I get a red card.
Why we can't have nice things?
It's okay. I got 2 natural 20s. It was going to happen.
It only takes 1 natural 1 to die.
Okay, so...
There's a shitload of hit points in this thing, dude.
The Mako is going to take... Bear with me a moment.
Where are its shields?
You did take some point damage from your shields last session, which you should have marked down.
Yes, but then we would have regained them.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true.
So we're back at 50 shield points. No, we're back at 80 shield points.
Hey, are you a cat?
No.
Probably.
I'm acutely aware of the fact that I don't get cared for and pet and fed on a daily basis. For free.
I was going to say, you don't get fed. You don't
Take 56
Literally got
points.
food brought to him in his room.
They take 56 points of thunder damage.
Did that go to the shields then?
They go to the shields, yep.
Okay. So,
But the impact shakes the Mako. You both feel it kind of rocking in your seats, and the shields flicker and kind of crackle around where the kind of out from where the impact was, but the shields hold.
Mhm.
But they've taken a lot of damage.
The old Mako Shako.
Okay. Then they're both going to pop back behind their cover. And that's going to be the end of their turn. It is the last Varen's turn. So the Varen is going to leap at you again, Torque, trying to take a bite at you.
I hate these fucking Varens, bro.
This is McGowan's first 2 episodes.
Yeah, dude.
You Dr. McGowan, he'll teach you how to punch a Varen through the mouth.
So that's going to be... Oh, I rolled the wrong dice to hit. I rolled a d12. That's going to miss. That's a 6. So again, it goes to bite, and you kind of, you manage to... well, no, it's a melee attack, and you're still on the ground, so it gets advantage. So, 1 second. Let me roll one more time. You're prone from when you got thrown off the truck, and it takes half your movement to stand up, and it hasn't come back to your turn yet since you fell off. But it's the Varen's turn, so it gets to stand up, and since you're already in range, it doesn't move. Okay, I'm just
for the viewers
explaining it. Yeah, I'm just making sure we're all on the same page.
It was already sad about it.
Before I screw you, I want you to understand there's a reason.
So that with advantage, it's a natural 20.
Are you fucking me in the...
I'm not. Go ahead and make a strength saving throw. Oh no, you don't. You're already prone. You don't need to make another saving throw to be knocked prone or not, because you're already prone.
Oh,
so you're gonna take.
Crit damage.
Yep. You're gonna take 21 points of piercing damage.
A multiple of 7.
As it goes through and sinks those huge teeth, those big tusks, into your
baby maker,
into your back. You feel the teeth shred through the gaps in your armor and sink into your back and your hump, and the flesh that's kind of exposed right now as it's kind of not pinning you to the ground, but it's putting its weight on top of you. But that's its turn, and you get to now it's your turn, Torque.
Oh, that hurts. Oh.
I could totally see Torque just turning around and biting it back.
How do you like it?
Oh, God, I want to do something really fucking mean to this Varen, dude.
I wonder what a Krogan's bite force is.
Right.
Probably a shitload.
We gotta figure this out. I want to know what my bite attack is.
Well, it's like a space dire wolf, so...
Well, Krogan actually have pretty blunt teeth. If you look at what their mouths look like when they're open.
Like cow teeth?
I mean, like human teeth, honestly. They're bigger, but they're humanoid-like.
You know who else has blunt teeth other than the 2 tusks? Hippos.
Me?
That being said, blunt teeth does not mean you don't have bite force. It just doesn't mean you have for the D&D purposes, it means you don't have a regular bite attack. That would be an improvised sort of thing.
That's from a horror movie aspect. That means that you get shoot slowly instead of quickly.
Yeah, but a Krogan bite force is not going to be as much as a Baron. So Torque, what are you doing?
I am gonna look at this fucker, and I'm going to pull up my Omni tool and use Nova.
Nice.
So
channel your biotic energy to release your barrier in a burst of biotic energy, blasting outward.
So it has to make a dexterity saving throw.
A natural 1.
Bitch! Sorry, that was aggressive. Anyway. So I get to roll 4
Yeah, not
D8.
turning the things into salsa. That was aggressive. Was calling it a B.
Both are true.
How many dice are you rolling for damage on this?
4 D8.
Okay, I'd say because he got a natural 1, go ahead and add another dice to it.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm trying to get a little more creative with natural 1s.
Guess how much damage I rolled?
How much?
A multiple of 7, 21.
Oh God. That's a kill though. So you release. You're kind of like laying on your stomach a little bit as this thing's got its big claws on your back, and you feel its teeth sink into your flesh. You grunt your Krogan teeth, activate your biotics, which are not actually connected to your Omni tool. They're connected. They're
damn it.
They're a. Well, it's okay. Because I can understand why there would be some confusion about that. But they're actually you're born with them. Biotics are either
I'm born with it.
You have to be born with the ability to control biotics. So they're innate into your person.
So I'm just laying. I'm still just laying. I remember I'm still laying on the ground.
Yeah, you're laying on your front right now, at kind of like getting your bearings. And this Varen comes up, bites you in the back. You then just kind of like groan
just and face down in the snow,
just poof, your barrier detonates, launches the Varen off of you, and as you kind of like get ready to make another attack, the Varen is limp and lifeless. Its body broken.
No, I'm just still laying face down in the snow, just frustrated.
But you tip your head to the side, and you're kind of checking on the Varen, waiting for its next attack, but it stays still. So and it is dead.
You're dead.
Okay.
Did he die?
Alpha and Omega. Your turn.
I swear, every single time you say that, I get transported back into VBS.
Oh God.
Alpha, Omega, being handed.
What is that? What does
it's a song about Jesus. It's Vacation Bible School.
All right.
Well, there's one direction I didn't think that we'd ever go in this stream.
Yeah, I guess I thought we were in space, bro.
Speaking
Ella Rhea has a really weird history with Vacation Bible School in space.
A Saurian Bible School.
Yeah.
Alpha.
Yes.
Alpha, it's your turn, sir.
All right. So since we have the windshield is busted open at this point in time, Omega is going to go through and basically stick his head out the front. We're going to drive the cargo vehicle forward about 10-15 feet so we get line of sight to the one guy that's on the rock on the north.
Okay.
And then from there, Alpha's going to go through and cast a cryoblast, and then Omega's going to follow up with an incinerate.
Okay, just so you know, you can't detonate on the same turn. Well, I suppose if you're casting them, two different casters, actually, though I would say that's fine. Two different casters is okay. It's just an individual character can't prime and detonate on the same turn.
Oh, fair.
That's OP as fuck. Can I get a battle drone?
You pick the
that's
drone
the entire
jockey.
point of my
It's
class.
literally the thing his class is built around.
I am also restricted in how many times I can do this. As long as this is the only combat we do until we get a long rest, I'm fine.
Oh yeah, this is taking up all your spells, huh?
Yeah, I am almost out at this point. Okay, so we'll do the cryoblast first.
Okay.
And that is a 16.
That hits.
All right, so then he needs to go through, and he is currently slowed and a strength check at DC 15 or frozen.
Okay. That's a failure.
Okay, so he is frozen until the end of the next turn. And then for the incinerate from Omega...
So he's frozen, but it just means he can't move, right?
It's like stunned, basically. Just the cold version of stunned.
Okay, and is he primed? Is he primed for cold damage too? Then?
Yeah, whether he fit, or basically if I hit him, he's primed for cold. If he fails, then he's stunned.
Okay, I just needed to know what tokens to slap on him.
Sure.
Can Torque say something real quick?
Sure.
Keep one alive. I want to know if these are the only ones out here.
Okay, yeah.
We can go through and take care of the north one if you want to keep the south one alive.
Doesn't matter which one.
Let me check passive perceptions real quick.
Sure.
I think Torque, I think everybody but McGowan and Alpha and Omega, just because you guys have been busy driving. So I guess it would just be Torque and Rhea. I'm used to having groups with more than 4 people in them, so I keep thinking there's like going to be a bunch of people left over. But it's just you guys. You guys with that passive perceptions of 15, I would say you both, maybe not Rhea because you were focusing on the gun, but Torque because you were up kind of in the open and had a 360 view. You saw that other soldier run off behind and take cover behind the rock. So you know there's another guy around as well.
Sorry, which rock?
You would have seen somebody run off and disappear. Like there was a soldier over here taking shots at you, but after watching 3 of his homies just get completely obliterated,
after the Mako crush.
Yeah, the Mako crush, the guy getting exploded by ice and fire, and then the other dude getting like ripped in half by a giant cannon. Yep. So, well, it's also that's the 4th one, Salsa Boy.
Oh.
Yeah. You saw a guy take cover over here. You don't know what he's doing, but you saw another one of the pirates duck behind this rock down here where my little green dot is.
Yeah. That might be your talker.
Okay. So, we're back to the top of the Alpha and Omega. Yes. One more thing.
Yep. So Alpha went through, cast Cryo Blast, went through and hit. He's frozen to the end of his next turn. For his free action, Alpha will go through and Omni-Tool everybody else.
Omni-Tool batteries are down to 2 abilities left.
And then from that point in time, Omega will go through and use his Incinerate and fire it towards the one of the north who is currently frozen.
Okay.
Oh, I did that, and it is 22, which hits.
That hits. Yes.
And then this is just a level 1, and that is 17 points of damage.
For that guy, that is going to be. He's got some shields that take a few points of that, and it's not going to be a kill, but he is definitely near death from the explosion. The shields take the brunt of it, and the rest of it rips through, and the Vorcha, which they're pretty resistant to damage. This guy's on fire. He's not having a good time.
Since I detonated the cold that was on him, he exploded in the detonation. So I do not prime him as fire because I detonated the cold.
Okay.
So he took 17 points of damage and exploded in the cold radius, which there's nobody around him, but he is not primed fire.
Okay. So he's no longer he's still frozen, but he's no longer primed cold or anything.
Correct.
Okay. Okie dokie. Anything else for you?
No, actually, we will stay here.
Okay.
Because he's still frozen, so we will take the cargo vehicle to a stop, so we're still in line of sight.
Okay, Ray, it's your turn.
All right. So I still see this bro back here behind the rock. Yes.
Which guy? The top or bottom?
Bottom.
From there, I'll give it to you. I'll say you can kind of just see him around the corner. It's going to give him some modifiers to his armor class when you shoot at him, but I would say you can see him. That's okay.
Yeah, because it was the rock kitty corner to him that got like blasted in half, right? It wasn't that one?
No, it is that same one actually. But they're pretty big.
Yeah. I just wanted to see if they're like because of that if I had like maybe a little extra goodness.
Yeah, but, you know what? I'll say. You know what? I'll say that because you blew up so much of the rock, you can see him over the top of it.
Like a little bit.
Yeah, but he'll get a little bit of a modifier to his armor.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna try and hit him with that machine gun.
Go for it.
Machine gun Kelly.
It's like a mini gun spinning up, and then I just.
Ah! Oh, doesn't count. It rolled off.
Yeah, floor die don't count. Reroll floor die. Let's establish that rule. 12.
Reroll Florida.
With his +2 to his armor class, that's not going to hit the rock. The rock just the rounds just kind of tear away at the stone.
The rock,
yeah, leaving plenty of bullet marks.
Cover down.
He is having a terrible time behind their eyes.
You know what it is? It's, for those who know, it's that episode of Red vs. Blue in season 1 where they have Church and Tucker pinned behind the boulder on the lookout at Blood Gulch, and Simmons is just sitting in the Warthog machine gun, just like holding the triggers down constantly. And when Griff tries to talk to him afterwards, he can't hear because he's deafened himself.
Isn't he just on the gun like it's gonna run out of bullets sometime?
I'm like, Rhea's having a great time because she's so used to being so like the sniper rifle, like these, perfect one shots, and now she's just up here with a machine gun for the first time, scar facing out, just like, yeah! Like,
wow.
I know why Torque loves it so much.
Say hello to my little friend.
You've seen Rhea like genuinely smile. Like she puts on a smile, but this is like joy.
Torque can hear your like happiness through the Omni tool,
the open channel,
and he's still just like face down in the snow, like
get it, girl.
Anything else for you, Ray, or is that
just blood like pouring out of his hump and shit?
If I am not able to shoot again with it, which makes sense. I will then. Oh, and I can't do it with that either. Okay, I thought I could. Oops. The only bonus action I can do is frickin' guidance. So I'll cast guidance on Torque.
Okay. What's the range on guidance?
Oh, it's 30 meters?
It's probably going to be a little too far. Let me check, though. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Yeah, he's going to be a little too far out of range, but...
Okay.
He's like 34 meters away.
Then I'll just cast it on McGowan.
Okay. Yeah, easy enough. He's there.
So basically, McGowan, you just have an extra d6 that you can add to a number rolled, any ability check, saving throw, or attack roll of your choice.
Thanks.
A driving check?
Number rolled to one ability check.
Yeah, so I would say
throw or attack roll.
An ability check is a skill check because skills use your abilities as the basis for the modifier.
Yeah, I was like, it's the same as the guidance, and it basically works the same way as what's the other one too? Like inspiration, like bardic inspiration.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's a little bit more like bardic inspiration because doesn't it get better as you get better?
It does, but unlike bardic inspiration, it's not something I innately like. It's one of my spells that I had to pick.
Sure. So it's kind of
like bardic inspiration is like you get like 3 charges of it when you're a bard, and so it's more of a cantrip. Where this is like, it's very similar, but
so it's sort of like a combo of the two of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know. I've noticed that with a couple of these spells, and some of them I really like, and some of them I'm like, I hate that, like, because I can't use it the same way. Which is fine. It makes it a challenge.
Yeah, it's. But I like with a lot of what they've done with the spells and stuff. Anyways, McGowan, you're up, and then it's the Boom Squad.
So.
The Boomsman.
The Boomsman. I like that.
Interesting. This is when driving is less cool than.
I mean,
dude, you've been killing it with the driving.
We've gone over this before, but like if you can stop driving to open the door and shoot out if you want. Dude, that's always an option.
Do another like 180 curb stomp on some fool.
There's no one to curb stomp. Anyway, I would like to. How tall is this like raised area?
It's like 15, 20-ish feet.
Could
on either side of you?
Could the Mako's thrusters get up there?
I would say it would be a high DC. a high DC vehicle handling check.
Okay.
And it would also require forward momentum.
Which I have because I'm moving.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it would just be one of those things where you have to it'd have to be enough. So you probably have to. I would say from this position, if you wanted to turn and reverse or something, you'd have to get a little bit of you'd have to back up to build up momentum, because if you think about the way the Mako thrusters work, they just go up.
Yeah,
you just go up. So in order, if you want to clear stuff, you need forward momentum to go up and over.
In the game, this is one of those wacky things where you end up upside down, and then you have to.
Well, I mean, because again, the thinking about the Mako being designed not just as a video game vehicle, but the actual purpose of those thrusters is to slow the Mako's descent when it's being dropped out of a ship in low orbit.
Yeah.
So they're not really meant for big crazy boosties and big boosts and stuff like that. They're more specific, but you can get creative with them in that.
I'll slowly drop you out of orbit, bro.
Well, I mean, that's better than going fast.
It was way more threatening than it should have been.
Yeah, it was I feel like it shouldn't be that threatening. We're in space. If someone was hey, I can drop you off. I can drop you out of orbit. That's a thing they would say. No biggie.
Well, I want to try to jump up onto that south platform, so let's see if I've got the movement for that.
Okay, so to back up, it'll be, or to get into a good angle, so it's going to be 2, 4, 6 meters. So you've got 20 left. We'll say 2, 4, 6. I'd say there would be what you would need.
All right. Can I?
So you've got. You would have 12 meters left. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I would say it's just enough where you'd be able to get up onto it if you rolled a high.
Let's do it.
Yep. So you spin the. Oop! I moved my camera. You spin the Mako around, throw it into reverse, kind of get ready, drive forward, hit the accelerator, hit the thrusters. Go ahead and make your vehicle handling check.
Boom! Natural 20.
Whoa! You have got to be kidding me! No way!
That's your third.
Dude,
no way, dude!
This is all of the bad rolls you've had, just making up for it in one night.
Yes, the universe is literally telling that you shoulds have been doing cars this whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, so you have a lottery ticket set aside,
driver over
right?
here.
No, I don't. I need to go get one now.
So
it's not too late to go get one.
Your numbers are 20, 20, and 20.
That's nuts, dude. So you rev up the Mako, go and hit the thrusters, and you just clear the lip, and you kind of crash through these trees a little bit, and you've used all your movement, and your momentum kind of carries you forward a little bit, and you kind of get banged against the trees. You're not stuck or anything, but between all of them, you've kind of they've slowed your momentum. And the Mako's big enough where you can force your way through, probably.
Yeah.
But there's not as much room up here to maneuver around, and you can kind of see back behind this little grouping of trees. There's a few more, and there's a few more rocks, but it kind of turns into open tundra.
So do I still have an action?
Torque is just face down in the snow.
No, that's your action. That was
okay.
Yeah, that's your action to do that, to line it up and time it right and get it all perfect. That's what you got to focus on.
To Mario Kart off a rainbow road into a place you're so safe.
Nice. This has been the best the Mako has ever done.
This is the most glorious thing a Mako has ever done.
Yeah,
McGowan's got it figured out.
All right, so
you have
next
rebranded the Mako. I now love the Mako.
Bag, you should start looking for sponsorships.
Right.
It is the Boom Squad's turns. So the one that's sitting right there, he hears you crash up alongside him just a few meters away. He's like, ha! And kind of whips around and fires off one of his missiles.
All right, I'll do my dex check.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting it's a dex check.
I'm gonna add my I'm gonna use my card. Add a D4
Okay.
to that saving throw for a whopping 11.
That is going to fail.
I figured it would.
So another round of damage to the Mako.
To be fair, in the game, if you did this, then you would for sure get hit by a rocket.
That's true. I would also have to reload my save because I would absolutely be wedged in these trees.
Yeah. Maybe this. Oh my god! What if this is exactly how the Mako works? Is that it's perfect up until you try this, and then you're just done.
The Mako's going to take another 46 points of thunder.
Woo!
Wow!
Well, we still had 24 shield points. So
You're getting that extra 30 points of shields.
Was pretty clutch, dude.
Yeah, your shields would be down if you didn't.
Yeah. So it's what, 40? So
another impact rocks the side of the Mako. Ray and McGowan, you both feel it kind of shifting in your seats. And so this other guy down here he's no longer frozen, is he? Can he move still? Alpha, the guy that you shot with your cryoblast, I still haven't committed the cryoblast rules to memory.
Yeah, he is still set up to the point in time where.
So can he not move or anything?
He is frozen until the start of my next turn.
Okay, so he can't move. He can't do anything.
Yeah,
okay,
he's basically stunned.
So that's the end of his turn. That's the end of the. Well, then this fella, he's going to 5, 10, kind of scramble up and try and hide, kind of in the rocks there, kind of getting down between all of them, trying to stay out of sight. It's still that same rock that you blew up, Ray, so you can still kind of see him a little bit, but he's kind of just hunkering down a little bit more. Then all the Varen are gone. So Torque, it's your turn.
Torque is going to continue laying face down in the snow.
I tried, bro.
And he is going to regen some shields. Which, how do you determine your shield regen again?
It's 5 for everybody default. You can get mods and stuff to make it better, or different pieces of armor sometimes have better, but it's 5 for everybody standard.
And he is going to use a Medigel.
He's just laying in the snow, his shields boop come back on, and his Omni tool lights up, boop. He's still just laying face first in the snow. Anything else?
After he uses the Medigel and recoups... Wow, 5 health.
Oof.
Then he, I don't know, breathes a little sigh of relief and rolls over onto his front. Or, onto his back. That's all he does, though.
I mean, he's packing the piercing points of the Varen with cold snow, so that probably feels pretty good.
Yeah, he is relishing it a little bit. He's like, half of, or a part of him, actually a pretty big part of him, feels good to be bleeding again.
So Alpha and Omega, you're up again. Your turn.
All right, so
and then it's Rhea.
So the guy up north is no longer frozen. However, Alpha's going to spend another point to cast another cryoblast, and then Omega's going to follow up with the incinerate, which is the only thing that he can do.
Okie dokie.
All right, so Alpha with the cryoblast. 26.
26 points. 26 to hit. Yeah, that hits for sure. Yeah.
All right, so it's a strength check of a DC 15, or he is frozen again.
Nope.
Okay, so he is frozen again,
okay.
And prime cold, which he's got nobody around him, so that doesn't matter. And then Omega to go through and for the incinerate. Nat 20. Nat 20 with a drone.
Wow. That's the 4th or 5th one tonight.
Well, my last one was a spell purpose caused. This is my first natural, so.
Torque says on the comms,
"You guys are doing so good right
now." Well, Alpha goes through and responds back, just saying,
"Thank you. You inspire us so much."
All right, so which is funny because Omega tends to get more crits than Alpha does, even though Alpha's the actual character. Okay, so Incinerate is 2d20, so that's 20 plus 10, so 30.
30 points of damage?
Correct.
Okay, he's not dead, but he is very close. Big hit. The Incinerate strikes him.
And
away patches of his armor and his kind of rags that he's wearing. And the Vorcha.
And then Alpha will go.
Sorry, no, that's a Vorcha. I'm looking at the wrong thing. That's the same guy you attacked before. He's dead. He's dead now.
Okay.
So I was looking at the wrong hit points. Yeah, so the Incinerate once again just explodes, melting, but also burning and charring this Vorcha, kind of blowing out huge sections of its chest, and even the Vorcha's well-known regenerative abilities probably won't do much in this case.
Fair enough. So as Alpha's free action, he'll go through radio to everybody else.
Omni 2 power has dropped down to 1 ability left.
The tactical updates.
Thinking like Geth. And then at this point in time, we will stop so that way Torque can go through and join us.
Okay. Ray, it's your turn.
Yeah. Maybe I can look it up actually. How tall are the Makos?
They are about what did I decide? I think they're like 12 feet from the bottom to the top. They're pretty big.
Okay.
Like 10 or 12 feet.
Yeah, I was deciding if I wanted to have her like jump off and run around to try and hit him. Can I still get a shot on him from here?
Yeah, I would say so. The tree. Well, the turret is not currently obstructed by the tree. You're kind of like, I would say the gun. Where'd I put my little laser pointer? There he is. The gun would be like more kind of here.
Yeah.
So yeah, and this is that same rock that you smashed up. So it would be the same as last time.
All right.
That's fine.
We're gonna do it again. Although I hope we actually do it this time. Let's be real. Everyone else gets the roll really good. Okay, 14 plus 2 is 16.
16 hits.
Okay, so D6. So that is 30 points of damage.
That is, well, describe the final kill of the fight, because that fool is dead.
So after basically running this man down with the Mako, because after he went behind the thing, we had blasted open the rock, we missed him, blasted open more of the rock, and then finally she realizes she's chiseled enough of it away that she might be able to get the shot, and she just starts fucking blasting, and here's Torque's probably listening through the Omni tool once again on the ground. And I was like, this one's for Torque! And I just hit him because he didn't get to battle much.
And the Vorcha, it feels the first few impacts kind of shredding through its shoulder, and it tries to leap to the side to try and avoid it, but all it does is it opens it up more to the machine gun fire, and you just shred him. Turn him into Swiss cheese. And he kind of falls over. He does like he does like the Western like dive, as he kind of like roll to the side, but then doesn't, and he gets shot mid dive, and so he just kind of like careens over, and he just sort of tumbles over the rocks, falling dead.
You guys did it.
And Rhea looks down at the gun and goes, "This thing's fun."
Okay, we can say that we're out of initiative. There's only one person left that you're aware of, Torque, and he's nowhere to be seen.
We gonna get him. We got cars.
Alright, I'm gonna use another metagel.
Can I? Oh, do I have medicine check?
It would be metagel doesn't require a medicine check. It's like drinking a potion.
Oh, I was gonna ask if I could go over and help bandage some wounds or something.
They do have like medicine packs, which is what that's for. So unless you have one of those, you don't have the necessary materials. It's like a healer's kit.
I've kind of played it both ways before, where it's like if you have medicine, you can try and just bandage wounds, but it's not anything special. It's just like
that's sure. I see what you're saying. Go ahead and roll a check. I mean, Torque's a Krogan.
I'm not gonna be able to give you 8 hit points or anything, but maybe 2.
Yeah, I'd say just go for it.
Nope. I walked over to Torque. I'm way too excited, and I try and wrap something and wrap it too tight.
And we'll say McGowan at some point
it's a 6. So
McGowan, you
a 1.
Get back the Mako down the cliff and get it all appropriate. Well, I think we're done with the map for now.
Yeah.
So you guys kind of standing, or Rhea, you've climbed out of the Mako and you're over helping Torque out, and Torque, I presume you've kind of walked up to the truck.
Yeah, Torque is brushing himself off and being like, "Oh, thanks you guys, you got me my favorite thing, a bunch of dead enemies."
How far away are we from our destination, roughly?
You were only a couple hours into the drive.
Okay. So we have quite a ways to go yet.
So and it was a day.
Is the storm still real bad?
No. The ice storm only lasted for an hour. But there's still snow falling, and it's still kind of an overcast, cloudy day. So it's the light is a little bit whitewashed. It's kind of it's gray, and it's kind of your depth, the nuanced depth of the snow drifts and things like that is a little hard to tell, just because there's no shadows really, because the light is very low.
The enemy that escaped will more than likely have friends in the wilderness somewhere. We might want to find them and make sure that we don't just get jumped again on the way back.
Alright, let's say we can take some time to look around for them, but I think they've been preying on these trucks because they're easy pickings, but something like this might scare them off too.
At this point in time, there are 2 possible options. 1, he heads back, he gets reinforcement, and then they fight their way through the snowstorm to create another surprise point. Or 2, he heads back to find additional support, and they decide to wait until an easier target.
That's kind of my thinking too. So maybe we just head out.
Well, we could solve the problem, because we're going to run into it on our way back, unless they just let us through because they know that we'll spank them again.
Well, let's take a little time to see if we can figure out where he went.
I saw one run off this way, and I point towards the rock.
Can I do some sort of investigation or perception to see if there's footprints or tracking nature?
Sure. If you're gonna go look in the spot that Torque is pointing towards, you'll either have to walk around or climb up the rock face. And I mean, you guys can tell the canyon you're in doesn't go on for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. This is like a dried up creek bed.
So
it's you from where you're from where the Mako's parked, you can actually see the end, kind of where it opens back up into the like kind of the flatlands or whatever.
So are we still in the middle of a heavy snowstorm, or has it
No.
cleared up?
No.
It's snowing, but it's not like a blinding, crippling ice storm like you guys were dealing with before.
And how far are we into the 1 day drive to the town?
I would say you're no more than like 4 hours. No, a little bit more than that because they wouldn't want to have set the ambush too close. So you're probably like 6 hours, like 6 or 7 hours into the trip. So you've got like 19, 20 hours or so left.
Okay.
But Ray, yeah, go. Well, you're kind of. So how do you want to climb up or do you want to just walk around, Ray?
I'll just walk around. I mean, that's easier probably.
Okay. Anybody going with Ray?
We'll go.
Okay. Both of you. This will be either perception
Torque
or investigation.
Well,
Torque as well. Yeah, sure. Torque can go
Oh,
too. This is a whole group activity, so I'll say that you guys are kind of fanning out and searching.
Come for a little party.
So, Alpha and Omega will stay with the vehicles then.
Okay.
Check it out, guys. You know how you said make perception checks?
what'd you roll?
I got a natural 20.
Yes.
Jeez.
So, like, what is that? Your third or fourth one tonight?
Fourth.
Which
Yeah.
McGowan,
Card.
that is extremely vital because as you with that natural 20, you spot the Vorcha that Ray thought she killed, poking its head out from above the rock and aiming its missile launcher at you.
I shoot him.
Catch it, throw it back like a monk.
I've got my assault rifle out, and I just
Go for it. Make an attack roll.
I'm going to do burst fire. So he's got
Go
to
for
make he's got to make a deck save.
Yes. Well,
So
make if you want to, Ray, go ahead and make a history check. That's a natural 20, so he succeeds.
oh shit. Does he take half damage? He might take half damage.
I don't think it's any. I think her burst
15.
fire is nothing. 15, Ray. You know that Vorcha regenerate. They behave so like they may seem dead, but if fire has not been used to kill them, they come back to life. That's how powerful their regenerative abilities are, and it's why the other one is dead, because he was killed with an incinerate. So the fire prevented its healing factor. It's like a troll a little bit. Again, they're like planarian worms. So like if you shoot off an arm, they can regrow that arm. It might take some time.
I guess I just would have thought she would have like. I don't know that character-wise, but I feel like maybe if she would have known that, she wouldn't have so casually just like left it alone.
Well, I don't know. It's
just remembered.
It's kind of hard to right. It's one of those things where it's a little hard to say, and but so with that, what I will say is that everybody will get advantage on their deck saves to avoid the missile that it's firing, because McGowan got that nat 20. He's able to warn all of you. So it's Torque, Ray, and McGowan. All three of you, please.
Oh, nice.
What am I doing? Sorry,
rolling a dexterity saving throw with advantage because McGowan got a nat 20 on his perception check.
I rolled 2 11s. Fuck my life.
I got a dirty 20.
Dirty 20?
Wait, but I get a +5 to that. Let me verify. Yeah, so 16s for me.
Okay. And Ray?
Oh! Yeah, 20.
Nice.
Hey.
So as you guys are like, you see him, he holds down the trigger, you hear the kind of the faint whirring sound of this missile launcher charging up, and you all try and jump and get out of the way, and Torque, you don't feel like you've gotten far enough. And as the missile goes to fire, you hear a boop. And the Vorcha goes, "Ha! Stupid thing! Out of ammo!" And throws it on the ground. and tries to and just like takes off and starts running away, kind of heading along the cliff edge.
For the record, I kind of feel like that if Torque had rolled a 20 at that point in time, he totally should have had a chance to just baseball bat the missile back.
Right. Just like
just
catch
as long
it
as you
and throw it back at him.
Just as long as you don't hit the warhead. You gotta hit the side of it. It's a masterful swing.
Warheads.
Yeah, hit it up so it just goes just off into the distance.
No, he's out of ammo. The
Rhea just does a little like, don't.
See, you can see him. He's kind of running in the direction that you guys are walking, and so his tracks with those perception checks you all rolled, very easy to follow. And as you guys, you walk maybe another 30 or 40 meters, kind of following these fresh tracks, and you see that same Vorcha and the other soldier kind of hightailing it, and they're basically cutting straight out from the cliff, heading which direction that would be. So you guys are heading south. It would be, I think, to the west. Yeah, it would be heading to the west. Whether you don't, there's any number of reasons that you could be heading that direction. Whether it's just to try and put distance between you guys, or whatever, they kind of start to head in that direction. It's up to you guys if you want to pursue or let them go, or whatever. But you can see them. They're running through a mostly open part of the tundra. There's these trees and rocks and boulders and stuff that are kind of built up around this little ravine that you guys were in, and there's more of them scattered across the tundra here, but it's mostly open ground.
Calculating additional parameters, we gain the most likely success of this mission if we would directly drop off the payload and return back, giving them the least amount of time to go through and gather their forces.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good plan to me. That makes sense.
I'm fine with that.
Torque, how are you doing, bud?
Been better, been worse.
Understood.
Torque, do you need additional assistance? I have recently learned how to go through and process such organics to allow them to sew together faster.
To do what you call vent.
As your organics are known to scab, I can assist with scabbing.
Oh yeah, tell me more about scabs. Sew me up,
Cauterize all
buddy.
his wounds.
My homage tool has one more ability left, and recently, because of my time spent with the organics that like to get hurt, I have learned how to scab faster.
I don't know that I like it.
Scab faster.
I think I kind of do.
That sounds like a really weird like NPC name. I'm Scab Faster.
That's actually when I first started playing EverQuest way back when, I had a troll fighter called Festering Wounds. It was
Yep.
Boy, that's the name.
I'd rather
What are you guys
scab
doing?
than fester.
However, yes, because, like going back into it,
What are you
Alpha
guys doing?
with the level increase, I did learn a heal spell if you needed it.
Oh yeah, hit me.
However, I only have one spell point left.
Oh, I just need Metagel. If anyone has any.
I don't know that I do.
I believe I do. I do.
Can I have it?
Oh, that's not a very nice way to ask.
Can I please have it?
Can I do
Of course you can, Torque. And she hands over 2 metagels.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
What a friend. What a friend.
Sorry, I'm a little bit
Okay, I still have 4.
cranky from the Varen bites.
To be fair,
That makes sense.
if I was organic, I would want to make sure that my meat shield was healed before the damage could get to me.
Heal the meat shield, scab it on up, and then I use my Metagels.
Miguel's gonna head back to Mako.
Okay. Yeah, I assume you guys can walk and talk and stuff. So you guys load back up into your vehicles, and you resume your drive. Alpha and Omega, fortunately, you are Alpha. You unfortunately are not troubled by the cold, really. So the smashed windshield doesn't really have a huge negative impact on you.
I rolled a 7 for health, by the way.
I could guess a heal spell on you with my last point. If this is what we need to do.
That's really good. I'm just saying, it's been 7s all night for me. It's fucking weird.
I've gotten a lot of 7s as well too, although not more early on than last.
The only 2 numbers tonight are 7 and 20.
I'm gonna say I've got a lot of 20s.
And everybody has shields at this point in time. Your shields should be back up.
Yep.
Okay. So, at some point in here, do you guys want to take a long rest?
Well, we should probably get to the town first.
Okay.
Okay.
Because we don't after going through attacking bandits and them running away, we don't want to wait 8 hours to rest just to give them time to come back here.
Can we?
So we should. Go ahead.
Everyone who isn't driving could take a long rest while we're moving, couldn't we?
Yeah.
We could also switch out.
Torque.
Yeah, it's true.
Torque, you wouldn't be able to because you have to stand. But I would say Ray could take a long rest in the cabin. Anyone.
Yeah, definitely. If I went into the Mako.
Yes, yeah. If you wanted to take a seat in the Mako, you could definitely try and take a long rest.
Yeah, so the day was 26.
26.
Hours?
Yep. You have about 26 hours.
So we can continue driving for another 8 hours as Torque and Rhea rest, and then swap out McGowan and Alpha can rest while they drive.
Can Omega drive while Alpha
Omega's a drone.
Omega's a drone.
That's a little too complex for him.
Yeah, he's not able to do stuff like
basic
that.
commands like attack this, protect that, but drive.
Yeah,
that'd be like telling Siri, "Hey Siri, take me to Caribou."
Yeah, Omega is not a player character. Omega is an accessory to Alpha.
Like he's the engineering class has a drone in class, and we just kind of made him a little advanced for personality, but he's still a freaking drone.
Yeah, but he still has the same limits that the rules impose on him.
Just wondering.
Yep, that's fair. Okay, so
I mean, Torque and Rhea can totally take a long rest while McGowan and Alpha drives, and then once they're done, we can swap.
Well, I need to rest. I use some magical abilities. I don't actually know about Rhea, but isn't Alpha the one that has to rest more than anybody?
Well,
yeah. So I didn't use any.
Go ahead.
I didn't use any spells while we did all that besides the one guidance. So I'm not losing it over not resting. I can help with someone else if someone else needs to. But
well, if you want to change around,
I still have access to all my spells and shit.
Here's the other thing: is we're gonna have to take a long rest anyway, just
to avoid exhaustion.
Yeah.
So we don't.
Well, we did rest. We did rest before we started this mission, so
sure.
Exhaustion shouldn't be a factor yet.
I mean, I'm pretty good now. Actually, I don't.
If there are two of us that are doing good right now, the other two can rest.
I mean, I'm good again. I'm basically back to full. I'm just down a spell slot and a barrier, so I'm pretty good actually.
So then, if you want, we could swap. So Alpha rests in the cargo vehicle, and you drive.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then Ray and McGowan, you can decide what you want to do from there. If anything, the Mako should be stronger than the cargo vehicle because the Mako has a better weapon.
I mean, McGowan's good to keep driving for a while. I didn't get touched in that fight. I didn't use any of my abilities. So the only reason I would need to rest at any point is because of exhaustion. So.
Yeah, we're not anywhere near exhaustion.
McGowan and I are in the same boat with I have one spell I could get back if I long rest, but for the most part I'm doing well. So if we just switch off, we'll both get one.
So Torque, are you down one spell or are you down more?
Just one.
Okay, so yeah, so at this point in time, Alpha will go through and rest. Don't Alpha will rest in the cargo vehicle because that's just
Okay.
curling up and it's going to recharge mode.
Okay.
And then, I mean, since both Rhea and Torque are just down one spell slot, Torque, you just want to drive,
Sure.
and Rhea, you can rest to get your spell back, and so McGowan and Torque will drive the first shift, and then Rhea and Alpha will drive the second shift.
Yeah,
Sweet.
sounds good to me.
Okay. Great. Go ahead, drivers, for the first round. Go ahead and make perception checks. And I would also like
21. Wow, a multiple of 7. 21.
Nice, dude. Good job.
sorry. I would like
It's weird.
Ray to please roll for some weather stuff.
14 is my perception check, just so you know.
Okay. On a D8. Sorry, Ray. You should be rolling on a D8.
Roll that weather. Roll that weather.
A 1.
The light snowfall holds. Still stays a little overcast, but it clears up a little bit as the day goes on. And by the time you guys are ready to switch shifts, it stopped snowing. And the skies are like a nice bright pale blue, and there's a good sunshine going, and it takes a little bit of the edge off the winter cold. Go ahead now, and what'd you guys get for your perception checks?
14.
21.
21. Okay,
Multiple of 7.
you
Multiples
guys.
of 7.
Nice.
It's bizarre.
So you guys are driving along. Looking out the window, the road kind of curves to your right and kind of comes close to not a cliff, but sort of the edge of a vista that overlooks a valley, or looks a small valley. You guys are already in a larger you guys are in the larger area of the Fullstone Valley, but this is more of like it's almost like the little passageway you were just driving through, but it's much lower in altitude, kind of down a big steep hill. Steep hills on either side of it. It's gently sloped, and you can see a little strip of creek kind of meandering its way through the snow. Looks like it's probably mostly frozen over. At least has a layer of ice kind of on the top of it. You can see down in the valley a herd of Tanal kind of grazing and wandering, kind of moving together in a big uniform, in a big kind of amorphous group that kind of changes shape and direction. And there's lots of low brush and gray rocks covered in like orange and white and green mosses and lichens. And you kind of just have this, like, after that fight and after kind of, the drive to Sarah wasn't quite long enough for it not to feel like you weren't on the job. But this is a long drive, and after that fight, the two of you who are paying attention, you kind of have this moment where you're able to just like stop sort of and appreciate the kind of natural beauty of this place. It's nothing incredibly unique or wondrous, but it's this very nice, beautiful, kind of inspiring vista as you look out across this valley.
DM question.
Yeah.
Is there anything? Is there any place like this on Tachanka?
No, Tachanka is mostly a desert.
That's what I
So
thought.
yeah, there's probably some polar caps, but they're probably quite small. And but I mean, there are still very impressive visuals on Tachanka. It's Tachanka. It's sort of like a brutal kind of beauty. It's harsh and unforgiving and relentless, and it's more testing than it is calming. Whereas this is peaceful. All you can hear are some of the sounds of the animals and the sounds of the vehicles kind of trundling along through the snow. And on Tachanka as well, even when you do have those moments where it's quiet, there's still always the threat of predators, especially in the regions beyond the kind of developed habitation zones that your people have been kind of slowly carving out over the last 300 years, trying to expand and grow, but do it in a controlled way that will hopefully not lead to the mistakes and the misjudgments that kind of put your people in the position that they used to be in.
Gotcha.
Um,
So, Torque, after driving for a really long time and like gazing out over on the vast, desolate tundra, gets onto the comms and says to McGowan,
After having thousands of children,
Wait, what?
this desolation has a silent beauty.
No. You don't just get to say that you have thousands of children and move on.
Oh, I'm happy to talk about it if you want.
Explain, please.
Well, I'm a Krogan. And, I guess you could say a popular Krogan.
It sounds like it.
You're asleep.
Are we in the same profession? Oh.
Well, a long rest doesn't necessarily mean like
Oh, yeah,
sleeping the whole time. You can just be kind of like kicking back and not doing much. But if this is something you want to be private, then absolutely.
No, sorry. Well, sometimes it feels like I'm getting paid for it.
So are we talking like www.onlytorque.com?
No, nothing like that. I became very well known on Tachanka after the last stand in London. I met Rex. I traveled the planet. I got to do whatever I want. And I bedded a tiresome amount of women.
How do you keep them all straight?
I don't. They have their own caretakers. They have their own lives. We stay in contact through the game. What's the game called again? Fuck.
A Galaxy of Fantasy.
We stayed together for Galaxy of Fantasy.
Never would have guessed.
McGowan, if you want to make a history check for some of those references that Torque dropped, because Torque, these are memories for you, but McGowan's like 30, so this is all like history to him. Like this is stuff that he might have had. This is stuff that he may have read about in a book.
So, that's another natural 20.
What?
Holy crap! Well, McGowan,
That's
you're
5
and Ray, you can make a check too if you want. For you, I think with your background though, you'd be kind of aware of some of the references. Like the last stand in London was the last battle of the Reaper War. It was where like the Allied forces, the surviving Allied forces, basically threw all of their eggs into one last desperate basket, and they came out on top by the skin of their teeth. and it left the the Asari homeworld. There are monuments and places like that. You're from a different planet, not the homeworld, but there's a good chance you've been there, especially since you've been traveling on your own for the most part for a while. So like you could have at some point traveled there. So it's the Reaper War affected all of galactic civilization, all of the major homeworlds of all the very powerful sapient races were invaded, and many other worlds. And the Battle of London was sort of like, it was the last stand. It was like, if we lose this battle, it's only a matter of time before everything that we've built is destroyed by the Reapers. And Rex, you both would be aware, is like he's the king of the Krogan. He's Urdnot Rex, the chieftain of the war chief of Clan Urdnot, and he's considered to be one of the greatest leaders the Krogan have ever had. He's a visionary with a lot of his policies and the policies of his. She's not a queen technically. Krogan don't have king and queens, but Rex is the chief of chiefs. Like he's the top dog, and his
elder.
And his partner is, the two of them are both considered by Krogan standards to be pretty progressive and pretty forward thinking, and it's a lot of the success and a lot of the stability the Krogan are experiencing right now is accredited to their leadership. And Rex is an especially notorious Krogan. He was one of the best mercenaries in his prime in the galaxy, hired for all kinds of dangerous, high-risk operations, bodyguard jobs, things like that. And he's a bit of a legendary figure. He was also involved with the hero of the Reaper War, Commander Shepard, and he's kind of associated. He's caught up in those legends and those stories. So Rex is a name that is, while not spoken everywhere, it's pretty common, at least as far as like recounting of galactic history, and when people are discussing Krogan politics, Rex's name is brought up a lot. So unless I didn't mean to interrupt with the history check there. So if there's anything else you want to talk about, Torque, by all means continue.
No, I mean, like, what was I saying? I forget.
Talking about your kids, Galaxy of Fantasy, how you don't really keep track of all of them because there's just too many.
Yeah. I would just have said that and sort of expected McGowan to ask more questions.
McGowan was trying to process it all. That's a lot to find out.
I'm just imagining. Sorry.
Find out that your buddy has like thousands of kids and is like a degree of separation from like some of the most important events to have ever happened.
Well,
I do not understand why the confusion. Our generations happen to happen with a minimum of hundreds, if not thousands, of generations. Torque, you would make a very good guess.
Hey, you would make a really good Krogan.
Thank you, buddy. Best friends forever.
I've always wanted a dog. I didn't think it would be like this.
Careful, you might make McGowan jealous. Haha, haha, haha.
Oh, McGowan and Ray are best friends. What are you talking about?
Well, since we're getting sort of close to 10 o'clock, for the sake of brevity and kind of getting to a good place to stop, your drives when Rhea and Alpha take over go as uneventfully. The two of you kind of still get a good view as you drive, because this vista that Torque and McGowan spotted, it's in the distance, so it's sort of the size perception is a little off, and so you do get a good view of it for quite a while. But eventually, while Alpha and Ray, you two are driving, Ray, since you're driving the Mako, please go ahead and make a perception check for me. And if the person in the gunner's seat, which I believe would be McGowan,
Yeah.
If you're not asleep, if you think you're awake at kind of like near the end of Ray's near the end of your 8-hour resting period, you can also make a perception check.
Yeah, I probably would have fallen asleep right away.
And you know what? I mean, if this is the kind of thing, now that I'm thinking about it, if you can all go ahead and make a perception check, since you'd all be able to potentially see what you're looking for here, or what you might see here.
I got me a 5, so I think I'm awake, but I'm not.
You're kind of rubbing the sleep from your eyes, and
Yeah, I got a 7.
what's that, Torque? I can't see.
I
Get your
also
hint?
got
I
a
can't-
7.
Oh, it's so weird.
It's weird.
7 is a weird number tonight. If this was episode 14, that would be even weirder.
It's multiples of 5 and 7. Odd numbers only.
So
I got a 19.
A 19, okay. And what did you get, Alpha? Unless you're asleep.
7. Well, I mean, if you said that we switched after the long rest, then Alpha will be driving, but he got
No, that's right. That's right. Okay, so Ray, you're the first person to spot it. You all see this, but Ray, you're the first person. Up ahead on the road. You don't see anything on the road, but continuing down the road, up ahead, a few miles, it looks like. You see several columns of thick black smoke rising above the horizon.
Smoke on the horizon.
And fire
you-
in the sky.
And you'd also see what looks like birds kind of in that same vicinity. Like flying around, wheeling around above the source of the smoke.
Does it look like scavengers, like carrion bird kind of behavior?
Make a nature check.
Is that a thing?
If it's not, go ahead and just roll a wisdom. Oh, nature? Yeah, nature. It's animal handling that isn't. Which I think is just so strange.
Where is?
Oh. No, maybe not.
Well, just roll a wisdom save. Roll a wisdom check then.
Wisdom check?
Yeah, or survival. We'll say survival for this. We'll supplement it with survival.
On the sheet. I don't know where it is.
You should have survival. Survival is a wisdom-based skill.
Okay, so then it's going to be a 14.
14. Now you don't know much about wild animals. You know, you come from a planet that's mostly urban developments, and there's not a lot of this kind of open area. And the places that you have seen like this are usually on a job, so there's not a lot of time to get familiar with the wildlife and things like that. So you don't really know. I would say, though, through your military background, it's less about the birds and more about the whole picture.
Mm-hmm.
You get a bad feeling. You don't know exactly what it is. You don't know what the source of this is, but these two, smoke and a flock of birds overhead is usually not a good sign.
So I'll pull up my own tool. Let's slow down. That's not a good sign. We get it. We should proceed with caution.
Do you think that the Red Corsair sped off ahead of us?
I mean,
The two of them?
There may have been more. They may have already been in this town.
True. This looks recent, though.
Yeah, like it happened after we killed all those men out there.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Who knows? We'll have to see. But just be careful.
So as you all drive up, going a little bit slower, keeping an eye out, takes about 30 minutes. And it's by that time, I would say, excuse me, that why doesn't everybody go ahead and roll an intelligence check? Just D20 plus your intelligence modifier.
$23. Did you just get another nat 20?
Yeah,
Dude, you're gonna roll nat ones for the next 3 sessions.
that's
I mean,
6
like,
nat
like
20s in one
can I
night.
just like
Oh my
like
god, that's like a
abstain from
record.
rolling
What is
for the
that?
rest of the night?
I don't think I've ever been in a game where one person has rolled so many nat 20.
Dude, I'm just using the D&D Beyond die roller, and it's
It's
normally
broken.
not this good. It's
so,
normally like
So McGowan,
yeah.
with that nat 20, and anybody I'd say who rolled like over a 12,
I said like
What if you
I got
rolled
a
a 12?
23.
12 or better. Yes, that's fine. You'd be smart enough to be at this distance, smart enough to be able to put together the fact that the smoke is coming from about where the coordinates of Lausanne are on your Omni tools.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's what I was assuming.
And as you drive up, you start to see the kind of first. Well, as you drive up, you see the city. It's not a city. The big town. It's bigger than Sorrel, but smaller than Port Falstone. It's built in and around an old quarry, so it's like a big giant pit with buildings around it, and kind of looks like there's some down inside. Some of them are like along the quarry walls, and a lot of most of the smoke is coming from down in the pit. As you get close, you kind of get to the outskirts of the upper section of the town. Looking around, you see it becomes pretty quickly apparent that this place has been ransacked, raided. Front doors, sliding doors to prefab homes have been wrenched open. There are partial, you wouldn't be able to see too many tracks because of all the recent snowfall, but you could see signs of activity, lots of activity. Like you can see the traces of places where there were lots of people presumably moving kind of in one area. Some of the doorsteps have blood on them, and there's blood that looks like kind of somewhat buried under the snow, but it looks like whoever was killed there was dragged away, perhaps. You can kind of see smears on the metal. And as you guys look around, you don't see any sign of life other than the birds. And that's where we'll pick up in 2 weeks.
Ah!
Damn.
Another hell of a session.
Yeah, dude. They're getting
This
better.
is why we can't have nice things.
They're getting better all the time. But that was some sweet stuff with the Mako. Gotta say.
Yeah, it's fun.
That was pretty wild. That was pretty awesome. It almost felt like you were doing too much, but I was like, he's just rolling really well. So I mean,
Yeah, dude, I
Rolling
that.
really well.
it's not like he's trying to like negotiate with me or anything. It's just got good rolls, I guess.
Yeah.
Sometimes as the DM, you just gotta let the dice fucking speak. Because at first you were like, no, and then you rolled a d20 and you're like, well, yes.
One thing that I've been really trying to be more mindful of is as somebody who spent like a great portion of their life playing Warhammer 40K, which is something that is very like, there is room to kind of flex with it a little bit. the rules are a lot more concrete when you're doing like tabletop miniature gaming, like wargaming and stuff, than they are with D&D. So I'm getting better about being more kind of loosey goosey with the D&D stuff and letting things roll. And
it has to be concrete with
out.
those tabletop games because no one's gonna spend like hundreds of dollars on an army and then leave the rules up to interpretation.
Right, no, exactly. That's exactly
hundreds, thousands of dollars.
Yeah, right.
It's exactly it. And like, there's definitely room for house rules, but it is one of those things where it's like playing a game, playing one game, keep the rules consistent through that game at the very least. Like,
if I spent hundreds of hours painting and thousands of dollars and like building sets and all this shit, the rules better be concrete, motherfucker.
Well, it's also easier.
I'll tell you what, as a 40K player, like you maybe 2 years tops before they will change the rules of your army.
Oh, I know, dude. It used to be so much longer, and now it's impossible to keep up. But anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. We had another really good session tonight. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back in 2 weeks to find out what happened in Lausanne and what the next step for the group is.
We know what happened to them suckers in the gulch.
Anybody got anything they want to plug before we sign off for the night?
Nope.
Well, I will point out that I will not be here in 2 weeks because I will actually literally be driving to North Carolina for my move. So, I mean, if they set up the internet fast enough, maybe I'll be on in time for the next session, but it might be 2 sessions out.
Probably not.
But
my OBS layout, damn it.
Well,
I mean, somebody else gets to play the Baron Robo Dogs.
Yeah.
I knew that. I've been doing that.
Since we are best friends, I don't know.
I mean, if one of you wants to play Alpha, one of you wants to play Omega, I'm sure that would be hilarious.
Wow.
Oh, that could be interesting.
Let's do it. That'll be fun. Come on.
We'll see everybody in a couple of weeks. Good night. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
Take care of yourselves. See you soon.